gets the pin. Raiders are clawing their way back in this game.
Just snipes one.
It's ball game. Over. Safe. Oh my God!
Did you see that? Great diving play. He's hit a touchdown. Hastings Raiders win the ball game.
Welcome to Hastings High School, where tonight we have a triangular showdown of three schools battling to increase their position as we get close to section time. It's the Hastings Raiders taking on the Eden Prairie Eagles, and then later on, the Irondale Spring Lake Park St. Anthony co-op team taking on the Raiders in the third match. I'm Kyle Kreiser, as always, joined by Mitch Sheeman. Mitch, we're opening up with Eden Prairie tonight, an unfamiliar foe we don't see often. We saw them in the first tournament of the year. What should we expect for in this first match of the night?
Yeah, when you look at seeing Eden Prairie, it's a little bit of a flashback to, I think it was 2 years ago when we won the state title, maybe 3 years ago, and that was a loss for the Raiders at that time. Early on in the year, we wrestled them, but now flash forward 3 years later, we wrestle them towards the end of the year, section time. Now, what I'm looking forward to is I'm looking forward to see how these kids kind of shape up towards section time. Right now, we want to be working towards that peak, right? Here in a couple of weeks, section's going to be happening. Your section team is happening in the middle of February, and then section individuals towards the end of February. I want to see how kids are starting to really shape up to put their best foot forward towards seeding, towards that state tournament, towards the section tournament, and then eventually towards the state tournament.
Yeah, and as we look at the state rankings here in AAA, you can see Hastings at the bottom of the top 10, which is still quite an achievement. They've actually beaten number 7 Northfield before, so they could move up or down. However, last week they did lose to Prairie Lake, who's unranked. I'm guessing, rankings are just rankings. They're going to stay kind of in that same range as the new rankings come out in a few weeks. Irondale in Section 4 with Moundsview and Stillwater. They're in a really tough section. Eden Prairie in Section 6 with Shakopee, the number 2 ranked team in the state. They wrestle some absolute beasts in their conference alone with St. Michael and Shakopee, and they go west towards Waconia as well.
Absolutely.
So
and when you look at those two sections, holy cow, just absolute hammers at each weight, right?
This first match is an intriguing one because Eden Prairie, maybe not the greatest team, but some solid individuals. They have 3 ranked wrestlers. Coach Hannenberg, you can see right there, looking over his lineup, trying to figure out where's the best piece where you can put your guys. They're ranked at 114 with Cale Westgard, the junior. Do they bump Beckett Edstrom up to 114. He just cut down to 107 right now. They're also absolute hammers at 139 and 145. They have the number 1 and 2 ranked guys in Zytavius Williams and Charles Vanier. Talen's little soldier is going to have a really good battle on his hands. He's had some epic showdowns with Zytavius Williams before. And again, these guys see each other on the mat for probably the 4th or 5th time.
Yeah, and that's going to be a match of fireworks if they do end up wrestling each other. Now, if they don't, and Zytavius Williams is at 133, I'd assume he might want to either, if he's at 133, he wants to challenge himself and see where he stands. But then if he goes up to 139, that'd be an epic showdown just because they've been wrestling so much in the past.
And one thing you know about Talon Little Soldier, he's going to throw the kitchen sink at you. He's going to try every single thing. At 145, Charles Vanier is going to take the mat. The Gopher recruit, most likely going to take the mat against Fletcher Peterson on senior night here. That's going to be an uphill battle. Vanier, super talented. He had an epic summer. Being an All-American at Fargo, and he's just been getting better and better and better.
Absolutely, and his only loss on the year is to Davis Perrell, the number 1 kid ranked out of Farmington. Very solid. We've seen him, Davis Perrell, a long time ago when he wrestled Blake Beisel in the finals, but absolute hammer at 145 pounds.
Yeah, and then they're pretty solid at 152 pounds. That could be a weight where Mark Svoboda wrestles Weissman. In the upper weights, this is a match where we can build some confidence. Our upper weights aren't necessarily our strength on our team, but we got some guys in the likes of Hunter Hoff, and let's see, Elijah Christopher, that need some key wins, and every single win helps with section seeding as well.
Yeah, and with it being senior night, I'm wondering, are they going to throw a kid like Lucas Pellinger, a kid who's been in that program for a very long time? Is he going to go up and wrestle 189 or 215 tonight, or do they throw the young freshman at 189 pounds? He's looked very stout, even wrestling some of the some high-end kids, but older upperclassmen, right? Juniors and seniors all year long.
Hey, we'll be right back at you. We're going to just wait for our national anthem. McCullough Choir is singing for us tonight. Always a great showing by our elementary kids. We're going to wait for our national anthem. Then we're going to start off the first duel between Hastings and Eden Prairie. All right, we're back at action here. We're going to get rolling right away with the Raiders taking on the Eden Prairie Eagles. Hey, just a heads up, our opening weight class is gonna come at you really, really fast. I know that sometimes it's hard to predict when they get on the mat here, but at 107 pounds, Hastings has some options tonight. They're going to either send out Sully McNamara, the 8th grader who's been a backup all year, but has wrestled admirably well.
Yeah, he had a fantastic week last week wrestling, right?
Yeah.
His technique looked awesome, and they're looking like they're warming up. I'm not sure who they're going to send out there.
Yeah, and again, he had to wrestle some absolute hammers last week and almost pulled an upset against Rocco Mikolajczyk from Prairie Lake, losing by a close 2-point margin. They also have the option of sending out state-ranked Beckett Edstrom, who's currently ranked at 114 pounds, but just cut down to 107. One of the reasons why he chose to cut down is Will Bainbridge, unfortunately, who was the top-ranked 107-pounder in the entire state, hurt his knee and is unable to go for the rest of the season. Huge loss for the Raiders in terms of definitely their lineup, but we have a ton of young talent at 107 pounds.
Absolutely. It is a big hole to fill, and that's not the first Bainbridge that's gone down this year. His older brother Jack went down a little bit earlier. And 2 holes for the Raiders to fill, but we've got some depth. All right, we're throwing in Sully's looked good in that fill-in spot, but we'll see how Beckett looks at 107 pounds.
All right, so it looks like there's going to have some girls matches beforehand, which is kind of exciting, so we'll kind of get that on the docket. I love seeing that. We called our first girls duel ever this year, earlier in the wrestling season. Our girls program just went to the, I guess, pseudo-state tournament, which they had over the weekend up in St. Michael, and took 3rd place. Narrowly losing to Apple Valley, the number 1 ranked team. They lost by a point. Yeah, and it came down to the heavyweight match, right? They stuck it out, especially through those middleweights. The Apple Valley Eagles, number 1 ranked team in state, like you mentioned, Coach. They wrestled lights out, and then it came down to the heavyweight, just couldn't squeeze it out, and they lost by 1 point. But very admirably placing 3rd in that tournament. Like you said, there isn't a team
state tournament. So they kind of made, like you mentioned, that pseudo state tournament where they had all the top teams from the state come across, and Hastings wrestled awesome.
All right, so we're going to go to our first match of the night. Sammy Allen, I believe this is Asher Eide, the 9th grader. She's taking on Sammy Allen, the 8th grader. Sammy, brand new wrestler to the sport, but she's really caught on. She's done wonderful things, starting at the varsity now as a first-year wrestler. Yeah. Sammy in on a collar tie right away.
And you can already see, notice the difference between when she first wrestled against Apple Valley earlier in the year when we called that to now. You can see the foot movement is so much better just in those free spots.
Allen on the shot. Look at that. See, she drives across, dumps for a takedown. Great start for Sammy Allen. She's got her on her back, too, if she can tip her back.
What a slick high C. Popped that arm, came right to the leg, and then immediately to a double. That was an awesome shot.
Yeah, Eide was just trying to clamp down, not give her any space. Sammy popped that right through that high crotch.
But one thing you like to see on those high Cs is a lot of times people get stuck underneath on their knees, right? You want to pop up like the mat is lava almost. Hit that knee, pop it up right away, and that's exactly what Sammy did. All
right, Sammy in a crossface here, trying to work maybe even a cradle or a butcher here. But she's also just going to go across the face and get easy back points as she sinks that crossface in and tries to slip her body backwards.
Great adjustment here. Now she could just attack the top. Oh, she got her shoulder turned, almost attack it in a half Nelson, but she's got tight reverse half here.
She's got about a minute to operate, see if she can get the pin here for the Raiders. Sammy Allen with a big pin to lead off the night for the Raiders. Great start. Sammy Allen just getting better and better every time she steps on the mat.
Yeah, and like I said before, there was a big difference between earlier in the year and that movement. But watch this shot. Just that left arm elbow pull right to a double. That was a fantastic finish. Just like that mat was lava. And then she gets the pin at the end.
Just how you practice that in the practice room, right?
Yep.
All right, that's going to take us to 106 pounds, where I believe it's going to be Kira Pellinger taking the mat against Amaria Fredericks, a 9th grader. We got two 9th graders going at it. We talked about the Pellinger name already. Her brother Lucas is a senior. Kira, brand new wrestler, been around the sport for a while. She was a wrestling manager for years. Super coachable kid, really hard-nosed kid. Another nice shot.
Yikes.
See if she can switch off to a double here and drive across.
And that's what I'm talking about. If she can just get to that double, she had that takedown there. It was nice and quick on the feet, got in real deep, but just couldn't switch off to that double.
Frederick covers, gets the takedown, early 3-0 lead for the Eagles. She runs a tight half Nelson. She's got her wrist with it as well. Pellinger close to the edge, though. She's got to know where she's at. She gets the pin.
Gosh, that half got in real deep right away so fast. I really like the shot that Kira took, though. Right? She got in quick into her legs, but just needs to switch off to the double, and she would have had that takedown.
Yeah, one pin apiece here for the Raiders and the Eagles as we start going to the next weight class. All right, we're trying to get our bearings straight here. This is Mia Pham for the Eden Prairie Eagles. And for the Raiders, I believe
this is Maya.
This is Maya, yep.
Let's see if Maya, she's sprawling out
here. Deep on a shot.
Now she's coming up here.
My correction, this is Nyasho Velmu, the 9th grader for Eden Prairie. And again, this is Maya Campbell, the senior, on senior night here, making sure they get a match for Maya. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Had Maya in class back in 6th grade. Great person.
Love it. Maya will be attending the University of Wisconsin-Stout next year and studying psychology. I believe this is her 2nd year wrestling as well, as the Eden Prairie wrestler has locked hands. So this will be a penalty point for Maya.
And if you look at Maya, what she was doing, she was reaching back. Typically, you don't want to reach back for that head, but when they are clasping, you almost get a free move, right? It's almost like pulling on defense, pulling somebody off sides. You get that free play. You get a free move. Reach back, try to throw something big.
All right, early 3-1 score here, about a minute in. Again, this is Nyasho Velmu, the 9th grader, taking on the senior in Maya Campbell.
Oh, got that deep half in again.
Seen that a couple times from these Eagles.
Get that elbow down. There we go.
Just under 45 seconds now as Maya starts building a wide base and comes up to her feet.
Attacking hands, just try to stay on the mat.
She gets the escape. It's now 3-2.
Let's see if she can get it going on the feet with 35 seconds left. You want to sink that stance down a little bit so you don't get taken down as quick. Inside ties is what I'd be screaming.
Campbell, one of 6 seniors on the roster this year. 7 if you consider Gavin Hansen, who's not wrestling this year due to a knee injury. So these girls have really paved the way for our girls program. In this group of seniors that we have this year, 4 of them have been actually ranked in state, which is a pretty outstanding group of seniors that we have.
Yeah, and we have another one that's right there that can be ranked in state. She's going to be wrestling. I don't know if she's going to be wrestling tonight, but she's got a very tough bracket. I know she's got some top kids or top girls in the state in her section bracket. But there's some Lady Raider wrestlers that are really putting a name for themselves.
Campbell chooses down the second period, down 3-2. Reminder for our wrestling fans, the rule change this year. The takedowns are now worth 3 points. Escapes still worth a single point. Near fall a little bit different this year. A 4 count or greater would be 4 points. 3 count would be 3 points. And then a 2 count will be worth 2 points. So again, a little different scoring than maybe what you're used to if you're a wrestling fan tuning in this year. I know it took us a while to figure out, even as coaches and people doing the announcing here.
Absolutely, and you kind of get in trouble because at times you're trying to wrestle 2 for a takedown. Remember, you're 2, now it's 3, and it's very different.
Absolutely.
But the whole idea is to try to get more offense, right? Score from the feet, score from top, trying to get more offense. Almost a hybrid of the old folk style and the freestyle rules.
Velmu really running this half Nelson tight. Campbell so flexible. She's been able to get out of this a couple times.
I'd like her to peel that elbow, that hand off, and then really control it. Never give it up. Never give it back up here. Peel it off as much as she possibly can. Keep the wrist. Come to her feet.
Campbell fighting that somehow. I'm not really sure.
But now you got to watch that arm with that flexibility. Still can't have that shoulder going too far forward.
Campbell trying to fight her arm through. She's getting near fall here. Velmu is. She's got about 30 seconds to fight off her back. Look at that bridge. Wow. Well done by Maya Campbell.
Done.
That is not an easy thing to do. That takes a lot of neck strength.
Absolutely.
Velmu's going to get for sure a 4-point near fall. She's got it locked up already. We got one of the best referees in the entire state here in Rod Frost refereeing tonight. Maybe the best referee and most well-known in the entire state of Minnesota.
And you can see he's done this before. He's up real close, making sure he doesn't disrupt the wrestlers, but at the same time, he needs to keep an eye on that shoulder, especially when you have a wrestler that's very flexible. Watch this bridge here.
Up on the back, arches through, slides her arm through. That's Mitch Sheeman-like flexibility right there.
Back in that day, maybe.
Really?
No.
As we go into the third period, Eden Prairie's choice, they go back up top. Campbell's gotten away once already. She's down 7-2, though, so she's got to get going in this third period.
She's gotten away, and she got the class point. I'd like her to get that movement going. Don't worry about this leg. Just keep coming up. Put one move into the next. See if you can get away or get another clasping point. A lot of times those penalty points happen with the movement, right, where they can't keep up. So you want Maya, you got a minute, 90 seconds left, minute 30 left. See if she can get away, but she's got that half and deep again.
She's got that locked in really tight. Now she really lowers her shoulder. That's locked up tight. See if Maya can fight her arm through again. This one's a little bit tighter than the last one.
But it looked like for a second there those hips were coming over, but then...
Velmu with a pin here in the third period, running those tight half Nelsons and is able to get the pin for the Eagles. All right, so it's 2 pins to 1 right now in favor of the Eagles here. I don't think an official team score is being kept here since there's not many wrestlers.
Nope.
But that's going to take us up to the next wrestling match where it looks like this is Olivia Levine. Olivia Levine's going to take the mat. Guessing here, I'm trying to figure out the names. McKenny Fofana, the 9th grader from Eden Prairie. Levine trying to get out on the leg. Fofana with a good sprawl.
It was smart, though. Kept that. Fofana had that wrist across. Driving across. Good takedown.
Fofana with an early takedown. Good hips there by Fofana. Just felt it, sprawled, hip behind. Nice escape there by Levine trying to re-attack. She's up to her feet. It's now 3-1. Fofana only a freshman. Levine, I believe, is a junior. Excuse me, sophomore. Sometimes I get my 2 Levines switched around. There's Ellie and Olivia. Olivia is the sophomore. This is the younger of the 2.
And then you can't mistake it for Avery, though.
No.
Not.
Which is funny because the youngest of the Levines that's on the varsity is actually only a 7th grader.
Correct.
All right, Olivia's got this up in the air. See if she can dump this and score. She's got about a minute top race so she can trip and get a finish. She drives across, nothing yet. Loses sight of that leg, now comes up to her feet again. Fofana, good sprawl. Olivia trying to circle behind. She's got her on her hip. She's got to pop her head out. She's got the takedown.
And I like that. Just drive to that leg, that far leg, right? You kind of just overpower.
Good half Nelson.
Now
she's
got
trying to
that
drive.
half.
Fofana up to her feet, though, gets the escape. Now a tie score. We're waiting for our score to add up here.
Yep,
Should be 4-4.
Good hips, drop it back, but now we got to stuff the head as quick as possible.
Yeah, can't reach around there.
No.
She's going to get the 3-point takedown. So that'll be 7-4 once we get caught up with all the scores here.
Yeah, right there with that head to the outside. It's hard to hit a go behind when your opponent's head's on the outside on your hip.
Yeah, Olivia Levine, a brand new wrestler this year. She does some things really naturally well. She's a really talented soccer player. All those Levine girls, extremely tough. They got 4 seconds though here, Olivia, to fight off her back.
But again,
Right.
I think we can go on the feet with her, right? Watch this single leg.
Just kind of gets
single
caught.
leg,
Yeah,
yep.
no, it's okay. But to your point, I mean, she was deep in a shot. Her hips
Yep,
were just
right
a little
there.
too far away.
But then that second shot where she actually got to the leg, cut the corner, and then drives across. She just needs to use that athletic ability. Watch her drive across to this far leg.
Got her on her
Get
hip,
her
popped
down.
her head out.
Yep. And she
Good
was
job.
smart. Head on one side, feet on the other, just finishing it right.
All right, back on her feet here in the second period.
And I want her to set up that shot. If she can set up the shot, it's there. But we don't want to go on bottom. We just got turned at the end of this period. It is 11-4. We're down. Let's get our feet moving.
And it was the Raiders' choice. I believe they chose to actually go on their feet, so you were spot on that one, Coach.
I get lucky every once in a while.
So again, there are 3 Levines in the lineup here. They fill out 3 of the starting spots. Actually, the youngest of them, Avery, is the one with the most wrestling experience. Ellie, I believe, is a second-year wrestler. Olivia, a first-year wrestler. Come from a wrestling family. You might have heard of the Levine boys from Rosemont. Their mom was actually a manager for Rosemont
Oh, really? I did
back
not know
in the
that.
day. So she's a huge wrestling fan. And her boyfriend, George,
You
is
can see-
actually in the corner. He was an Augsburg All-American. That's George Linau giving instructions from the corner. We won't mention where he went to high school.
No, but I absolutely love that he is in a Hastings t-shirt now.
Yes.
We won't talk about where he was before. Now he's really helping out that girls program. I know he's bringing that toughness to it, but the knowledge and the know-it-all about that technique of wrestling. And you can see as the girls, we saw it with Sammy Allen earlier, how much they've grown throughout the year.
You can see her sister Ellie there squatting down, giving it some instructions. Good shot there by Fofana. See if she can drive across, and she almost finishes. Good hips there by Levine.
Just got to get
She
that
knows where
right
she's
leg
at.
out.
She gets the takedown. Fofana's got her on her back, too. She's in a dangerous position right here. Levine's got to fight her shoulder down. She does. She's going to give up the 3-point takedown and a 4-point near fall.
Can't get turned right now. We're down 14. Once she hits that 15th point, that is a technical fall where they will stop the match.
They're going to call full Nelson here, so 1 point for Olivia Levine. So you can see that it's now a 13-point lead for Fofana. Boy, she's a physical freshman, isn't she?
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I was kind of looking at earlier to see if after that first shot and that first power that she had, was she did the guillotine have the eye on her too, and rank her in the top 10? Haven't done that, but you can definitely see she's got to be somewhere close because Levine is not a slouch. I
No.
mean, she even though it's new to wrestling, she can grapple with the best.
Yeah, she's up to her feet now, and it's now 18-6.
I like that, though. Just that little movement at the very end of that second period. Score one more time to put it out.
Nice shot there, but
look at that
so
shot.
quick by Fofana. Just lightning quick on those legs.
I know, but I want Levine to get that leg out just a little bit farther and battle with a whizzer instead of
They're
over
back
the
on their
top
feet.
red.
Fofana with another shot. Man, she kind of almost went duck under there.
But so
quick.
quick to that corner, right?
Yeah, she's going to get the tech fall versus Olivia Levine. She gets the win for the Eagles. Boy, they got some talented young kids on this girls' roster. Marcus Levesser doing a great job recruiting girls to come out for the sport of wrestling. For those that don't know, Marcus Levesser, the head coach for the Eden Prairie Eagles, multiple-time All-American. I believe he was undefeated in college.
Yeah.
Undefeated in college.
He was pretty good.
Probably the greatest Division III wrestler of all time. He started at the Gophers and then eventually transferred to Augsburg, where he was simply put, the man.
Yes.
For about 3 years.
Yeah, in 3 years straight, right? And coming out of Apple Valley High School, stayed in Minnesota, and that's what you like to see out of top recruits.
All right, now we're going to the boys' action. Beckett Edstrom going to lead us off with a takedown. He's taking on Hardik Hamal, a 10th grader. Edstrom with a quick takedown and a cut. It's now 3-1. He's right in those legs again. Goes through the backside. Another takedown. It's now 6-1. He's going to cut him again.
I like to see this intensity, this pace that he has.
Snap down, another takedown.
First time cut down to 107, and he's got the energy to wrestle.
9-3 now. As he comes up to his feet, gets another takedown. He's going for something bigger, though. He wants to lock up that cradle he's so well known for. He's driving for it. Goes suicide cradle.
Awesome. That was absolutely fantastic.
And he gets the pin for the Raiders. Good start for Beckett Edstrom. His second time cut down to 107. Looked like it was not an issue at all. Gets a quick pin for the Raiders.
And it was a great. Once he locked up the cradle, he immediately knew exactly what he had the momentum going the opposite way, rolled him through, quick pin.
All right, that's going to take us to 114 pounds. Let's see what the Raiders send out there. They're going to bring up Sully McNamara. Let's see who's taking the mat for the Eagles. Not sure if this is Cale Westgard or David Melcher. We're going to find out very, very soon. We're going to listen to the announcements here. All right, so this is David Melcher, an 8th grader, much like Sully McNamara, an 8th grader. 2 8th graders going at it here. This will be a good matchup. Sully, a light 107-pounder, so he's actually given up quite a few pounds. You can probably see the size differential. As Sully's very close to a takedown here, if he can just spin behind and cover those hips. Melcher's still holding tight to a leg. No takedown yet. Signals Rod Frost. Sully, a very talented young kid, extremely physical as he gets the early takedown.
Yeah,
good start for McNamara.
That was excellent because he was trying to get around, hit that spin, but he went down to the wrist on that woody position that we like to call it, and then grabbed that wrist and was able to finish out his takedown, which was a fantastic position.
Sully does a great job on top with wrist control. He's really tough in this position. He's got a variety of moves he can score from. He can butcher, he can cradle. He can also do some funky stuff too.
Yes, he is a funky wrestler, but at the same time, he's got such long arms that he can tie you up in so many different ways. Now he's got this butcher. I like how he's pulling that arm in as tight as he possibly can. If he can just get that shoulder down, that right shoulder down, kind of pin it to the mat while he's pulling, he can actually rotate and get him to his back.
He had that butcher locked up. If you could just knock him on his hip, he'd have an easy turn.
No, but this is definitely a good position for him. He likes to ride from the same side he cradles, right?
Yeah.
So you can see Melcher smartly trying to keep that leg back as much as possible, where Sully's sneaking his leg up, anchoring down on an ankle, and trying to push it to his head.
They're going to call an early stall call on Melcher as they run him out of bounds. Melcher not really working to improve so far. Sully with an early 3-0 lead as we are in the final seconds of the first period. It's been all Sully McNamara in this first period with about a minute and a half of riding here. If this was college, you'd have an additional point, but This is, again, high school wrestling. All right, end of the first. It is Eden Prairie's choice. See what they choose to do here. You're going to defer Sully's choice. It's going to go down.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do in the down position. But look at that. Just the straight hips. He breaks that lock, has the wrist, goes around behind. Nicely done, Sully McNamara.
All right, we enter the second period. Sully McNamara's choice. He goes down. As we mentioned, a little flip-flop in the weights so far. Beckett Edstrom wrestling at 107. Sully bumping up to 114. Which means that Eden Prairie's state-ranked Cale Westgard will most likely be at 121 pounds. They do have some solid kids in the middleweights. We talked about at 139 pounds. Eden Prairie has the #1 ranked wrestler in the state. Uber athletic. His name is Zytavius Williams. And then 145 pound, they have Charles Vanier. So they have 3 real big horses, and then they have a lot of inexperienced guys that are getting better each week.
Yep, and they put themselves. They wrestle. A lot of times you'll see some of these guys, including.
Oh, Melcher way high. Sully gets the reversal.
And you'll see kids like David Melcher wrestle in that 9th grade league because they are young. So we'll see several of these guys be on the JV mat, varsity mat, and that 9th grade mat just to try to gain experience.
Sully's almost got a cradle locked up. He's just got a really tough crossface. Switches now and goes to the other side. Going to call a little break in the action here. Let's see what's going on. A little break in the action. Not really sure what the call was there. Rod Frost just needs a little regroup. Okay, it's 5-0 in favor of Sully McNamara here. About a minute left in the second period. You will hear the Melcher name one more time. There is an older brother, John, who will most likely be wrestling at 152 pounds tonight. So thank goodness I got the right pronunciation for that last name.
Yeah, I was looking at it earlier, and I wasn't sure if the CH was that ch sound or the k sound. You know, that's that.
Such a math teacher.
I know. I should know based on the other vowels.
All right, 45 seconds left. Sully riding tough with his crossface. Hasn't been able to turn Melcher yet. You can see the size differential, but he's close to a cradle right now.
But there it is.
He can get this locked up.
That's what I'm talking about. He's boosting him forward, keeping that head down. It almost looks like he does have it locked up. He's got it locked by the chin. Now he's going hip to hip.
Goes straight back with it. He's got it locked up.
Nicely done, Sully.
Got some time to operate. If he can flatten out those shoulders, this would be a big pin for the Raiders. He's going to get the... Oh, they don't call it a pin. It was the other mat. Kind of a stoppage in action as there was a whistle on the other mat as they went out of bounds. Sully broke grip. I think he thought the pin was there.
And he absolutely did. And it kind of looked like they were on the same position on the other mat. And all of a sudden, one person slapped the mat, the other person did not. Unfortunately for Sully, it was not his mat.
No. Might have saved Melcher's night, though.
Yes.
All right, so 4-point near fall. It's 9-0 going in the third period. Let's see one more time. He goes hip to hip, drops that knee in, had those shoulders pretty much flat. And heard the inadvertent whistle and kind of let go.
Yeah, but and you can see him right there. He's like, oh shoot! I thought it was our whistle.
All right, Eden Prairie's choice in the third period. Melcher chooses to go neutral. Probably the wise choice. He has not been able to get away from Sully for about 2 periods.
Nice hard tie by Sully, right into a fireman's carry.
See if he can go to his back with it. Great finish there by Sully. Let's see if he can get the pin here. He's got plenty of time to settle in and sink this deep.
Just got to reverse.
Good hips there by Melcher.
Sully's so
good hips.
I don't know if you saw that, but Sully kept his head down.
All right, that's going to be a tech fall for Sully McNamara in the third period here.
And if you looked at that very last turn, Sully was baiting him with that head, right?
He was.
He just kind of popped his head under, and that's the funkiness that Sully McNamara brings to the mat.
All right, so that'll be 2 wins for the Raiders as we start going up to 121 pounds. Let's see who the Raiders send out there this time. Looks like they're going to send out one of their freshman wrestlers. He's going to take the mat against state-ranked Cale Westgard.
And he gets right into a cradle, popping that down. He's got
this
the
is
cradle
Albert
tight.
Bermudez Ramos. Albert, a new wrestler to the mat. He got the chance to wrestle some varsity. Unfortunately, it didn't last very long. 14 seconds in, Westgard with the pin. But a good experience for the young Albert to get out there and try to get some experience on the mat. Westgard with the pin. Let's see it one more time. It happened so fast. It goes inside cradle, takes over Albert. Again, I didn't recognize Albert at first. He's gotten so much taller from last year.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I've seen him on the soccer pitch a lot, but I haven't seen him on the wrestling mat.
Look at you, soccer coach calling it a pitch.
All right, I know. I can throw that in there.
Yep.
All right, get to 127 pounds, where the Raiders are going to send out 8th grader Brock Lundstrom. He's going to take on Max Haugen. This is Max Haugen. He was a 9th grader. He is a 9th grader, excuse me. He plays 7th at the Minnesota 9th Grade Wrestling League Regions.
And that just happened last weekend. So we'll see how Brock, if Brock can get a quick takedown here and just go to work on top.
Okay, so my apologies. This is Joey Grunstein, the senior. I just got corrected on this. This is Grunstein. I was going to say this is a pretty physical-looking freshman. This is Grunstein. He wrestled Lundstrom early on in the year at the Board Highlands Invite. He teched Brock Lundstrom the first time they wrestled. Let's see how much Brock has improved as Grunstein gets deep on a shot and finishes with a 3-point takedown. Yeah, and this is kind of a how much did you grow throughout the year kind of a match, right? The Board Highlands is one of the first tournaments of the wrestling year, and he ended up falling by technical fall. Brock did. We'll see what he can do in this match. Brock up to his feet, but he quickly gets dumped down to his back. We're going to see if everything's okay. Brock looks like he's okay. Just kind of got his arm trapped and twisted. You can see he kind of got funky and they stopped the match.
And I actually think what ended up happening is he had that arm back on that mat, but then he went to an illegal lock.
Sure. So it was almost like a headlock. Yeah.
Yep. And he didn't have an arm with it. So with the arm being trapped behind his back, he locked around the head, and you can't do that.
All right. So it goes 3-1 in favor of Grunstein.
Great escape there.
Brock's got a bright future ahead of him. He's taking his lumps this year. He's wrestling a man's weight. A lot of sophomores, juniors, and seniors at 127. Another takedown for Grunstein as he makes it 6-2. Grunstein very, very physical.
Yeah, and that's the difference between an 8th grader and a senior, right? That blast double, he kept his face right in his chest. He does cut him, so it is a 6-3 match here.
25 seconds left in this first period. You got to save team points if you're the Raiders here. You can't look necessarily to win this match. I mean, you never know what can happen. But so far, 3 takedowns for Grunstein. Again, we're just looking to see improvement from the first term of the year. Jumping up to varsity as a freshman is no joke.
And now Smart trying to push those hips away. You don't want to go upper body, especially at the end of the period. Trying to keep that hip away as much as possible so they can't suck the hips in and go for a big throw.
Good savvy wrestling by Lundstrom here.
Yeah,
You're going to see some of the takedowns that Grunstein has. He goes blast double, drives right through.
And that's the second takedown. I'm not sure if they have this on replay. That second takedown was his face was straight in the chest of Lundstrom's.
All right, Lundstrom going down in the second period. He's down 6-3. He's been able to get away a little bit. Grunstein totally fine just doing the takedown game.
But he was coming up to his feet each time he got taken down. I know we got let up one time, but the 2 escapes that we did get came up to his feet in a quad pod position, attack in hands, and then a very decisive cutaway last time. But now he's got this half Nelson in. We saw the half be a strong point with the girl wrestlers. Now it's kind of translating over to the boys team as well.
Yeah, no doubt Eden Prairie is well coached. They are have a plethora of really experienced guys that have wrestled at the college level, and they know how to motivate kids.
But also technical, right?
Another escape for Lundstrom. He's only down by 2 now. As Grunstein deep on a shot, drives across. He's going to get the dump and the takedown. Lundstrom's got to let go of that head. That'll extend the lead to 9-5.
And this is where
Lundstrom comes up to his feet for another escape.
And this is where Brock wants to be. He wants to be in ties. He wants to tie up those wrists. He doesn't want to allow Joe to shoot from space, because every time he shot from space, he has gotten the takedown, but he has been able to stop him when they are tied up.
Yeah, I think that's Lundstrom's preferred position, is locked up tight where there is no space.
Yep, and it looks like he almost wanted to go to his own fireman's carry. Now they're back into an over-under position. Got to be careful not to push in too much. Strong here. I like it.
22 seconds. They're going to call stalling on Hastings. That's Lundstrom. As he backed off the mat.
Yep, and it was probably the right call. He's trying to keep that hip away, but at the same time,
good shot there by Grunstein as he dumps for another finish here.
He was trying to keep his hips away in that over-under tie and not get thrown away.
I'll take it to 12-5 for Grunstein.
But in these shots, you want on the feet, you got to make sure you tie up those hands. From space, Grunstein's been really, really solid with those blast doubles.
Yes. That's been his go-to takedown so far in every single period. Anytime he's got space, he's been able to blast through it. All right, Grunstein's choice in this third period. Let's see that takedown again. We're going to see it.
Watch this head right into it.
Head right in the chest. Nothing you can do right there. All right, Grunstein's preferred position here, back on his feet. He's been able to take down Lundstrom about 6 times here already. Excuse me, 4 times so far. Nothing yet.
Nice.
Good wizard position as they run out of bounds.
That's where you like to be, but at the same time, let's grab onto the hands. Right away, he's touching that head. You want to keep your hands low, but then as he's starting to hit that shot, you want to try to tie him up, slow him down a little bit.
Yeah, and if you can stay inside on Grunstein, he probably has a chance.
Yep, I don't like this seatbelt position for Brock. He's trying to square it up. Work your head position on the other side. There you go.
Decent shot attempt, but his head's straight down on the mat. He's got to come up to his feet here. Fortunately, gets his leg pulled in, close to giving up a takedown here. He's got a leg. If Brock knows where he's at, though, he might get a fresh start.
Trying to work for a stalemate here as much as he possibly can.
He's going to get a takedown. So now 15-5 in favor of Grunstein. He's got about a minute to try to get a turn here. Playing the takedown game. He's had 5 takedowns against Lundstrom. Let's see what the instructions are here from his coach.
Guy looks like he wants to try to ride him out.
He's got the major decision already. He would need at least one turn to get a tech fall, as they call a stalemate.
In that shot by Brock, I like the aggressive nature, right? I like the idea that he's the one trying to take a shot. See where you stand. If you can keep that arm, maybe that turns into something different. But he lost the arm.
Nice shot attempt by Grunstein, but hips are way back. Hard to score from there. Lundstrom's been one for stalling. He's got to be careful here.
And each time it's been in that over-under position every single time when he was stalled or hit by the stall.
16-6 now in favor of Grunstein. Lundstrom's got to really stay circling here. As hard as that is, I know you're tired. Another blast double position. He drives right through.
He tries to throw that big headlock.
Be 19-6 here as they run out of bounds.
Looked like the clock kept running for just a little bit of time.
He's going to need one more takedown to get the tech fall here for the Eagles. So it's going to be 19-7. He's going to need one more takedown. Lundstrom has 27 seconds to fight this off.
And again, Grunstein has not been able to take him down when they are tied up.
Yeah, if you're Brock, you just lock up and you just circle.
Yep, try to stay at the edge of the mat for the next 14 seconds as much as you possibly can. Even if you get dinged for stalling one more time, you save that one team point.
And again, that might come back to help the Raiders if you can just avoid that tech fall. And that's just got to be savvy wrestling here. Short time for Lundstrom. If you can avoid this takedown, that would be really, really helpful. 3 seconds.
He's in that solid position.
So even though it's a 12-point loss for the Raiders, it's a moral victory for Brock Lundstrom and an improved effort from last time.
100%. And it all came down to just allowing that wrestler shooting from space. Now, Brock might be able to watch that tape and just see how did he set up that takedown? What did he do, or what position was Brock in himself when he got taken down on those blast doubles?
All right, takes us up to 133 pounds, where the Raiders are going to send out junior stud Trey Beisel. He's going to take the mat against Cody Davis, the 9th grader.
And he just kind of goes
takedown
right after it. And I've mentioned this in previous broadcasts. Trey Beisel is so good when he picks up that intensity and he is attacking. That's when he's at his best. Nobody really can hang with him when he is attacking.
Oh, sweet fireman's carries. He dumps him right through. 6-1 in favor of Trey Beisel as he cuts him again. It's now 6-2. Nice shot. Wow, that was quick. Drives through. Another takedown. Just like that, it's 9-2, about 30 seconds in. See if Trey wants to go back on his feet or if he wants to ride him out a little bit. I don't know if there's a quicker wrestler in the state of Minnesota than Trey Beisel. When he gets going on his feet, he is so quick.
No, his that step from that first to the second
shot,
step.
that low single shot, quick finish, another takedown. Cuts him again. It's now 12-4.
And then he just drives right through, brings him back right into a turn position here.
Man, got to keep up with the score clock here. Cuts him again, 12-5. Trey putting on a takedown clinic here as he goes right side underhook. Goes big throw, tries to throw it by.
And you don't want to be anywhere near that, right?
18-5 now as he's trying to lock up a cradle. Cuts him again. Should be 18-6 now as he drives across again. This will do it if he finishes him off here.
Steps right through. He's got that reverse half trying to keep him on his back.
Coming work for a pin here. He's already got the tech fall.
He's coming to that far elbow, trying to elevate that elbow, but that arm slipped through. Good adjustment here. That was quick hands, not quick feet. That was quick hands to go across to grab that other.
Gets the pin for the Raiders. Great wrestling there by Trey Beisel to get the extra bonus point for the Raiders, who goes from guaranteed tech fall to pin just like that. Let's see it one more time. I know we missed all these takedowns. They happen so fast. Here's the best one of the night.
I like that dump. That's almost like an ode to his brother, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That was very Blake Beisel-like as he drives through in this double lifts.
But then watch him attack that far shoulder. There it is.
All right, that'll take us up to 139 pounds, where this is one match we circled on paper. Eden Prairie's going to send out Zytavius Williams, currently ranked number 1 in the state. He was 3rd at the Christmas tournament. His only loss this year is to Jake Koss from Simley in overtime. He's a 3-time state qualifier, 2-time All-State, and a 2023 state champ. He's going to take the mat against Talon Little Soldier. Talon only a sophomore. He was 12th at the bi-states, 3rd at sections last year. He's coming off a broken hand, but he is a talented young kid.
Yeah, and there's no love lost between these two. No. They have wrestled each other several times, and each time at times it's been heated, right? So we'll see how Talon wrestles.
Zytavius Williams in on a front headlock, comes behind, covers the hips, no takedown yet.
Trying to front trip. Talon staying strong.
Oh, good wrestling. If you can face him, takedown for Williams.
That was a good adjustment, but his hands were caught. His hands were tied up, and he just couldn't clear them to scramble away.
Williams tries to go roll through tilt. Talon wisely keeping his hips away from Williams. Williams now stretching that arm across his back. No information I can find on Zytavius where he's going to wrestle in college, so he might still be an open commit. He is a talent, though. Super athletic, very, very quick. Tough on top, long, athletic. And Talon in his own right, and physical. And Talon in his own right has a lot of physical skills. You'll see flashes of it. He's beat a couple state-ranked Wisconsin kids, but stringing it together consistently has been the issue for Talon. Most potentially dangerous as that arm kind of breaks that 90-degree plane.
Yeah, you don't want to, and at the same time as they're coming up, they're going to break that just so that they can return to the mat safely. Otherwise, if he keeps that arm behind him, it's a quick, easy, shoulder injury by that lift and split.
Zytavius Williams tries to go ball and chain here. Nothing doing so far with about 30 seconds left. He extends that arm across the back again. Little soldier trying to get off his hip.
He's almost going to that thread the needle-like position.
Comes up to his feet. He's got to be careful here. See if he can clear out and get his one. He's got about 15 seconds to create some space. Williams goes ankle pick to try to hold him down.
But he's battling here each and every time. I like it. Williams is not allowing him to come up. Talon's got to battle for everything he's given. And at the end, right at the edge of that mat there, we are close to getting that escape.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, once you've wrestled this kid so many times, too, I think you take away that fear factor.
100%.
You're not intimidated by the #1 ranked wrestler in the state because you've wrestled him how many times, and you've actually beaten him before, too.
Right. Now, it's been a while.
It has been a while.
But at the same time, that idea of, and especially when things get heated in the past, you're definitely not afraid. You're ready to go.
Yeah, Williams going to defer the second period. Only a 3-0 lead so far. Little soldier going to go down. So far, Williams has not been able to turn Little Soldier. He's ridden him for most of the first period, though.
Yeah, but he's been able to get that wrist around behind his back, just not able to finish. It's been a great battle by Talon here in this position in the first period. Let's hope we can do the same thing in the second period. And he almost goes right wants to tilt there, coming underneath to the claw ride. Talon wisely get that hand back. Gosh, I don't know how many times that's happened.
Yeah.
But it keeps happening.
Williams getting frustrated. You can tell he just wants to cut him and go on their feet. Tries to go ankle pick. Man, that was quick. See if Little Soldier can keep his hips away. Nice finish. Nothing yet. Got that cradle locked up. This is a dangerous position. Gives it the takedown. It's now 6-1. As Williams probably content cutting them again. Goes up to her feet. Goes Russian tie. Slides it by. Man, that was slick. Threw that right down to the mat. And covers for a takedown.
And I'm not sure if Tay was trying to roll through and try to force another scramble.
So 9-3.
Get Williams into a bad position.
Okay, they're just going to call him here. He's been called for stalling. Anytime the shoelaces come untied, they're going to call him for stalling. Talon gets a chance to catch his breath. It's 9-3, still in this match. One takedown could change things here.
Yeah, one takedown would absolutely be huge.
Just under a minute so far, 9-3 in favor of Zytavius Williams.
But I like the Raiders in their two matches that they've had to save team points. This one and the last one, we have yet to be turned in this match. Oh.
And headlock, that was tight, man.
In the last one, Brock was sent out to try to save team points, and he didn't get turned either. So I like the idea of being tough on bottom, not being turnable, but on the feet they just they're going at it.
Yeah, 12-4 so far in favor of Zytavius Williams. He's got about 30 seconds to operate. I believe it will be Talon's choice in the third period. Williams trying to ankle pick again on the edge of the mat. Talon's got to circle back on here as they're going to call for stalling. Just as we say that, you get the stall call. 17 seconds left. You got to be ready for this quick restart. There it is.
Was. Good call. Talon was ready, but he stayed on those knees just a second too long, and that's where Zytavius
he's
goes
tough,
to work.
though, in this front headlock position. We've seen him score twice from this position. Short time. He goes inside trip. Knocks him on his hip. Nice. Good wrestling by Talon. As they go out of bounds, it'll be end of 2. It's actually Williams' choice. My apologies. We're going to see this again as he tries to battle this leg up. Good finish there as he elevates. Been a takedown clinic here in this match. As Zytavius has been able to score, I believe, 4 times so far from that takedown.
Yep. And one thing I liked at the very end, though, Talon was in a good position where his weight was going forward, but as he was going forward, he went through that underhook in, and what that does is it stops an arm from coming down to your legs. But now he's in this.
Careful, he's got this cradle close to locked up. Can't give this up. If he can break this grip, he might be okay. He'd rather give up a takedown than anything with potential near fall. Good hips there by Talon Little Soldier.
Excellent.
Well done. Boy, you look dead to right there. Almost had a cradle locked up. Somehow battled out.
That
Good
was great defense, and you could hear Coach Veit sitting in the corner. Stay up, stay up, stay up. And the balance that he just showed in that position was excellent.
Back in action. Here's 12-4 in favor of Williams. Just over a minute and a half left. Little Soldier likes to be here. He's really comfortable in this upper body. He's a Greco guy, got great hips, does not mind doing the upper body game.
No, absolutely not. I didn't like the position in that upper body game where the lock was behind.
Yes.
Right? We weren't in the greatest position, but that's not going to stop Talon from challenging.
No. Williams so long, though. It was duck under from that. Oh!
And it was a close position. You could see
as Williams almost finishes here, he gets the takedown.
The referee did call stalling right before that duck under attempt. He did call Talon for stalling, which was too bad because he was actually the aggressor.
Yeah, which was interesting. He kind of counterattacked that. I don't know if he regrets that call or not, but I hate when they call that, and then there's a flurry of action.
Yes, like a second later.
All right, so it should be, as we're looking at the score clock, it should be 16-5 as they're back on their feet. There's a flurry of action. Look at that duck under. Steps over the top.
Good defense there.
Had to go for it, though, right?
Right.
Down 16-5 here with just under 30 seconds left. If Talon can keep this to a major decision, that would be a huge moral victory,
and that would be a win for the Raiders, right?
Yeah, you're thinking bonus points, and of course he does have a bonus point as of right now. Not giving up a tech fall or a pin, though, against the #1 ranked wrestler in the state.
But as you're sitting there, you can give
shot
up.
attempt by Zytavius here.
And you can give up one more takedown. You give up one more takedown and still keep it to a major decision. But you don't want to give up a stall call and then a takedown, right?
Zytavius just non-stop action. That'll be the end of the match, 16-5 in favor of Zytavius Williams. Little Soldier really battling well, though, against the physical senior.
Yeah, saving a couple of team points. That I liked the defense in that position right there when he's tying up wrists. But then at the same time, we got into that over-under position several times. Talon's never afraid to be there, right? He's almost comfortable in that position. I thought that was actually really smart wrestling by Talon.
All right, now it's going to take us to 145 pounds where the Raiders are going to send out, let's see here, who do we got? Presley McRae, that's what I thought. I had to do a little double check. He's going to take on Charles Vanier, the #2 ranked wrestler in the state of Minnesota. He's getting instructions from his dad in the corner. That's Jafari Vanier. If anyone knows anything about wrestling, Jafari Vanier, extremely talented wrestler for Augsburg, multiple-time All-American. Presley quickly on his back as Charles has him in danger. Charles, the Gopher recruit, as we mentioned in the pre-wrestling show here, his only loss on the year to Davis Perro from Farmington. He pinned Talon Little Soldier at the Christmas tournament.
And again, another very, very physical senior, Zytavius Williams. Those two battling each other in the room definitely helps out your technique. But man, the physicality between these two seniors is bar none.
Yeah. So Preston McRae getting the nod here at 145 pounds. I'm going to guess they're going to bump up on whoa. Good attempt at a finish here. Unfortunately, Presley gets the worst of it as he kind of drops him on his head. Early 7-0 lead here for Vanier. You know what I liked about this match, though? A lot of guys would just back off from the #2 wrestler. Presley went for it.
Yeah.
Took a shot, went for it. Was it successful? No, but you're not going to back down from him.
No, but the idea is, what's the worst that could happen, right?
Yes. Vanier coming up to his feet, tries to dump him. McCray wisely rolls through.
When you're and we saw it out of Brock Lundstrom too, right? You're overmatched, a kid you've wrestled, a senior, right? Physical, but at the same time, what's the worst that can happen if you take a shot? Go for it.
Yep.
That's kind of what we're sitting at. In all honesty, when you look at this dual team, we're trying to get through their absolute horses, and then you'll start to see the tide turn in the upper weights, right? When you're in these middleweights, go for it. Give yourself a shot.
And you're on a turn again as he kind of goes side body, kind of a claw ride here. He's got an easy
right
turn.
Into a half Nelson.
Switches off to a half Nelson. This is really, really tight. He's got about 30 seconds to get the pin. And Veneer gets the pin for the Eden Prairie Eagles. And just like that, they take the lead.
Yep.
All right, now we talked about it earlier in the duel. They have 3 weight classes where they have absolute hammers.
Yep.
And now the tide should turn a little bit.
Yeah, you'll start seeing the Raiders. Currently we're down 17-20, but now I think you'll see the Raiders start clawing back and see what they can do.
All right, let's see who they send out here. Fletcher Peterson's going to bump up to 152 here. All right, so Zach Wiseman, the senior. Now, this is going to be a good one. I'm actually excited this match is taking place. You got 2 physical seniors, pretty close in record. Weissman slightly over 500, much like Fletcher. They did not wrestle. I will tell you, though, that Weissman did wrestle Mark Svoboda and got pinned by him at the Christmas tournament. Again, 2 seniors going at it here at 152.
And you can sit here and you can wrestle. Like Fletcher could have wrestled Veneer in that last match, but on senior night, let's give him the opportunity to shine on the mat and be a leader for his team.
And, we have a little bit of a hole at 160 until Kason Esterby comes back,
right.
So the idea is probably to bump up Mark Svoboda.
Great. Oh, my goodness. That was a great slide by.
See if he can finish this slide by. He's got the hips controlled. If he can just dump him down to the mat. He's got a front trip. Oh, if he can just pull him down.
He's staying behind the arm wisely.
Oh, he's close. There it is. And he goes to a
done.
stretcher position. If he can adjust his grip around that head, he's got that stretcher. If he can just adjust his left hand around that crossface. It's right there if he wants it. Oh, they're going to call a stalemate.
And at that point, I know that stretcher position was there. You're never fully confident in that move, right? Because it's such a risky move, but you can get quick back points. But it can be something where you give up the reversal as well.
Weissman up to his feet. Good dump there by Fletcher Peterson. This is probably Fletcher Peterson's best position as the top. He's tough here. He rides really, really hard, has a good armbar series. Always on his toes in that top position. I would definitely say this is an area of strength for him.
Absolutely. But I want to almost go back to that slide by because it was real quick, but the savviness of the move was actually the finish, right? Fletcher actually got his hand caught behind Wiseman's grip, and then he somehow had to bring him down, stay behind him, and bring him down with one arm. It was a great adjustment by the senior.
Careful here. He's got to roll. He's got to tilt. If he's trap that arm, he's close to a turn. He gets a 1 count.
He catches that
close.
leg. If he can just...
Oh, just lost him from his hips.
Yep.
He kind of fell out of his lap a little bit. That move only works if he's literally in your lap.
And he caught the leg at the right time.
He did.
But he just needed to get maybe a little bit more weight forward towards his shoulders and not allow Wiseman to keep that left shoulder up.
Good opening period, though, for Fletcher Peterson. This is a match on paper you thought it was going to be close, and so far it's been all Fletcher Peterson.
Absolutely. And watch this slide by here. All the way, just powerful in that position. But you watch this left hand. It gets caught, and he brings it around his back. So now he's got to bring him down with one arm, right? And he's able to sneak it back out, and then he brings him back down. The control. I love that by Fletcher.
Second period, we're on our feet here. Fletcher's preferred position is on the mat. Fletcher going to go to Mankato State. Pretty decent school, right?
Absolutely. It's home to the Mavericks. We love our Adam Thielen. We're feeling the Thielen down in Mankato. But I wonder if he's staying, which dorm he's staying in, because the McElroy dorm rooms, those were top notch.
Legendary?
Yep.
Gotcha.
I've heard from a source.
Oh, gotcha. Fletcher, a returning state qualifier last year. Yet to have that signature win, but I feel like he's peaking at the right time. He was coming off an illness last week and was kind of struggling with endurance-wise. Got stall call, though. No takedown yet, but Wiseman very close to this takedown.
And there goes the takedown.
So 3-3 as the score indicates here. Wiseman with a match equalizing takedown there with just about a minute left in the second period. Fletcher's got to be able to get away. We saw the difference in the Wayzata match last week. He won 1-0. He was able to escape.
He's perfectly comfortable in these close matches. He's a close match, almost like a heavyweight wrestling 145 pounds.
Yeah.
There's no fear in a 3-2 match, a 3-3 match, trying to squeak out a win. Now, looking in this position, what this does is it allows the coaches to see where you want to go in that third period.
Yeah.
Do we want to go back down? Are we able to get away, or do we want to go back on the feet, maybe hit another slide by? What do we want to do if you're Fletcher?
Yeah, and I think you have to go down, especially if you don't get away here. And I know Wiseman riding hard here, but you got to be able to get away.
Yep, and that's the key thing, because he's probably had a minute to work on top, 45 seconds, going into that bar.
The only fear that I have is I believe Fletcher was one for stalling already, so you can't give up another stall, because that would obviously be a penalty point for Eden Prairie. So you have to think about that. Let's see what Hastings decides to do here. And see that takedown finish again. They're going to go back on their feet.
And he tied up those hands, so I wonder if you just didn't feel right with that stall call that you mentioned earlier with the head down.
A snap down attempt there by Fletcher. Like we mentioned, Fletcher, a member of the state championship team in 2023. He was also an individual state qualifier. Younger brother Creed Peterson, multiple-time state champ. Good shot there. Oh, he drives across. He's going to get the takedown, and he's going to get some near fall as well. All right, so they'll get takedown and a 4-point near fall. That opens up the match. It's now 10-3 in favor of Wiseman.
And just like that, a takedown right to your back really separates that match, right?
Yeah, it's a takedown game, right? He's gotten taken down twice. Fletcher with the early takedown.
Eden Prairie is very solid on the feet.
Yes.
That's what I'm really noticing.
He's stretching this arm out across the back. That does not feel good. They've gone to this series a couple times. They got a minute to operate. Wiseman really looking for the Air Force. The Air Force is when you switch that grip. He's got it locked up right now. Loses the grip again.
We call that thread the needle here in Hastings. Mr. Jim Rohr, the legendary Jim Rohr, used to put that elbow right across your face and call it an attitude adjustment.
I know Jim Rohr is tuning in tonight as well.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he gave me a little shout out in the text message chain.
Oh, there you go.
Lots of names for these different moves here, but either way, not a fun position to be in. 30 seconds left. Fletcher battling tough. Wiseman looking really good in this top position, though.
And you can see why the Raider coaches decided to go back on the feet, because this ride is very, very tough. He's grinding on in that coffee grinder position. That's never a comfortable spot when your arm's being driven into while being pulled back at the wrist. It's not good.
All right, close to another turn. He can't give it up here. All right, match will end. That's a decision for Wiseman. Fletcher bumping up, unfortunately, didn't work out for him. That'll be an additional 3 points for the Eden Prairie Eagles as we bump up to 160. Let's see this finish again. He goes single, switches off to a double, drives across, and he gets the back points as well.
Yeah, just able to come across and grab that shoulder, work into that Turk position.
All right, that's going to take us to 160 pounds, where the Raiders are going to send out Mark Svoboda. All right, this is Matt Ivey, the senior from Eden Prairie. They had two options here. They're going to send out Matt Ivey, the senior. Good blast double shot, but right into Svoboda's wheelhouse. He loves to go upper body. Not afraid to mix it up with anybody.
Yeah, he's been in a couple of Greco tournaments. And you don't see it too often, right? Don't see that upper body so comfortable in that upper body position very often now in high school. Everybody wants to attack those legs, but Mark is definitely somebody that's comfortable.
I love that duck under. Switch to a body lock. Great finish. That was sweet.
And that's what I'm talking about, being aggressive on that underhook. And man, when he attacks your head and then fires that underhook, it is a hard attack to the head.
That was pretty awesome. That right-handed underhook right to that duck under on the other side. Thing of beauty is he goes slide by attempt. Mark, a Northern Plains runner-up in both freestyle and Greco. To put that in perspective for our fans that don't know a lot about wrestling, that's the best wrestlers in the Midwest.
Yeah,
it's second in both different styles.
And it's a big-time regional tournament, right?
It is.
When you talk about especially
Another
here.
takedown for Sabota, 6-1 now.
Like you mentioned in the Midwest, if you've been wrestling for a while, you know exactly what that Northern Plains tournament is. And it is not an easy tournament. I've wrestled in it several times a while ago, but it was a very tough tournament.
Yeah, Sabota, a runner-up at the Board Highlands early tournament in Coon Rapids, 10th at the Bi-States. The Bi-States, one of the toughest individual tournaments in Wisconsin. He's a really outstanding Greco kid and a kid that's not very nice on the mat.
No, absolutely not. And there's no off switch either. You know, he is an aggressive kid on the mat, on this varsity mat. This is the exact same kid that you will see in the practice room.
Goes chin whip over the top. He's got this locked up, almost an assassin position here. That's
that
very
wrist.
uncomfortable for Ivy. He's got that wrist locked up. He's got that grip. He goes assassin with this. They're going to call it illegal across the throat.
Oh, I think it's potentially dangerous. Not an illegal move, but I think that's what it went to, right?
He adjusted, went assassin here. I think they called it across the throat, potentially dangerous here. Maybe he was wrenching on the head a little bit too much. Either way, that's a 10-1 lead for Mark Sabota as he chooses down in the second period here.
And on that,
Let's see this one more time in this duck hunter. There it is. Sweet comes
Right
body
to a
lock
body
right
lock.
to it. You can just see his body crunch as he hits that body lock.
if you could just adjust that lock to the middle of the back, you could see it kind of on the side. It allowed Ivy to have an out. But if you adjust that to the middle of the back, oh my goodness, that bear hug is tight.
Yeah. Sabota up to his feet now. 11-1. He's kind of checking the clock, see what the score is. He'll need a takedown and a turn or two takedowns to lock up this tech fall, but he wants a pin. If we know Mark, he wants to finish this off once and for all.
And he is a pinner, right? He's solid on top, but he's a great wrestler to go from feet to back.
Goes right side underhook. Let's see what he can do from here.
I always found it difficult to attack those Greco style locks because you feel so exposed on the legs,
Yes.
right? But when you control that underhook as well as Mark does, you're very comfortable.
They call stall warning as he runs Ivy out of bounds. You're going to get a fresh restart. Sabota, a junior. He's been in the wrestling program, I believe, since 7th grade. Part of the state championship team that they had in 2023 as well. He came off an injury and really helped their lineup a lot. It's now 14-1. Sabota been very much an up-and-down wrestler in his career. He's had some big wins. Putting it together as a consistent wrestler has been his challenge. He's much like Talon in the sense that he'll knock off a state-ranked kid and then not look the best in the next match. So consistency is what he's looked for, and I think this year, in general, we've seen a much more consistent Mark Sabota.
Yeah, and overall, I think you're right. Now you sit there and you look at all of the injuries that have happened throughout the year, and then you also have those individual goals. You know, where does Mark want to be? Because at 152 pounds, there's absolute studs there in Section 3, right? We have a couple of top-ranked kids in the state, but then at 160 pounds, you know, what does that look like? It's a much weaker division in the section, but then when it comes to the state tournament, that's in a different position too.
All right, so just give people a heads up too that are watching. Section 3 has the top-ranked wrestler in the state of Minnesota and number 6, so number 1 and 6 in the state. And then 160 pounds, they have not a single person ranked in the top 10. So
and that's what you look at, and he's got to beat that number 6, who, in all honesty, it's Zach Carr from Park. He's been right there. He can beat that. There's
it goes chin whip. He baited him. He wants those hips in tight. He's got it locked up. See if he can get those legs and get this pin.
He's trying to lock it in and then arch it
gets
back.
The pin. Great finish there by Mark Sabota. Baited him into that double so he could chin whip him to his back.
And how many times have we said in our room a chin whip is not gonna win on that varsity mat? It all depends on who's doing it.
Let's see this one more time. He almost baits him to get deep on the shot.
And once this is what he does. He steps into it.
Hits it hard, hops over, gets that pin.
Now we got our second senior of the day with Hunter Hoff, who has been on an absolute tear as of late. I like the and I mentioned this last week. Left-handed high C.
Oh, he's going to try to dump him here. He goes right to a half Nelson. He's wrestling Caleb Holloway, I believe this is.
And something that Hunter has, something Hunter has been doing really well is he's just been wrestling lights out. right? Great technique, always in a good position. And that's different than it was Hunter Hoff as a junior. As a senior, man, what a leader on this team and what he's been able to accomplish this year so far.
Running this armbar right over the top. He's tough with these armbars. He's got plenty of time to reload and flatten out Holloway. He's going to get some near fall again. Extends his lead to 6-0.
But you can see that wrist all the way across. What a tight waist it is.
Nicely done with that tilt. He's got him right in his lap. He's going to get at least 2 more. Let's see what they give him here.
And then he switches into a bar.
Nice transition. He's got an armbar half now. So he's got the 2-point near fall. Let's see if he can work to something else. Was not a loss of grip, so I don't think they're going to have anything more than that. Once he breaks that grip.
He doesn't have the wrist, which is why he did break the grip, and it is a different move, but it's that I believe it's the arm position that they're in, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, smart. You want to post on the opposite side, keep circling towards his head. This is very, I want him to, if you keep walking around the head, very exactly Spencer Lee-ish, right?
Yes.
Post that hand.
He's got double arm bars here, and he's got about 25 seconds to operate. They're going to call potentially dangerous as he kind of breaks that 90-degree plane. They'll give him the 2-point near fall. Holloway hanging tough here against Hunter Hoff. He's up 8-0 already in the first period. We talked about this. This is where Hastings should open up a little bit on the Eagles. He's got to be careful with his tilt. He's going to get some more near fall.
Just didn't have that momentum. I got a little excited, forced me to stand up a little bit. But he gets a nice 3 count with 5 seconds left.
A fast 3 count at that. Oh, another near fall. So if you can get it, he runs out of time. So 11-0 after the first period. Let's see this finish one more time. Drives across. Great finish right to that half, Nelson. He was flagging upwards and just looked right for that half. Let's see this tilt one more time.
Yeah.
A little trap arm tilt, pulls him right in his lap. Good chain wrestling by Hunter Hoff. One move into the next. He's already up 11-0 after 1. He's going to go in the down position. He goes right to that switch. Beautiful wrestling there by Hunter Hoff. That was excellent.
And I love the that chain wrestling, like you mentioned, that double right to the half. Hungry for the half. Look and try to feel for that half, Nelson. His body just wasn't able to adjust for the pin.
Goes right to this armbar tilt series. He's going to switch off to something else potentially. He's turned him a couple times already with arm bars. This goes armbar half. If he can hop over to the half side.
Now, if he can just catch the elbow, now you can see that hand is around his chest. I want him to reach out and control the far elbow and suck it in.
There it is. He's getting close to it. He could also switch off to a half on that right side. He could have a lot of different moves. Now he switches off as that arm comes potentially dangerous.
Yep, straight up there. But I like it. We have a full 1:15 trying to turn him one more time, but at the same time try to work for that pin. In the third period, you can work for your tech, right? We got a full period. Let's work for a pin.
He's got just under a minute now as he's got this arm stretched across the back so he can flatten him out and get a pin.
He's got that seatbelt position.
He's going to get both those legs, and if he can get them both, then he's going to flatten them out.
Just got to arch his back, but he's got to keep the head trapped. That's the trouble. Looks like he lost the head for a second.
Flatten his hip, though. He's got to be careful here. He's going to get the near fall, and he's going to get the tech fall for the Raiders. Good wrestling by Hunter Hoff.
Yes.
Big win for the senior on senior night. Hunter Hoff helping the Raiders regain the lead against the Eagles here.
But again, a left-handed high C. That was awesome. He lost the head here for just a second. If he can keep it in his armpit and almost work to that seal position where you arch your back, might have gotten the pin, but great second period tech.
All right, it's going to take us to 189 pounds where the Raiders are going to send out freshman phenom Adrian Fuchs. All right, this will be Joseph Solstrom. He is a senior. He's wrestled a lot of 189 all the way up to 285 this year. He's a big boy. You can see he's got lots and lots of muscles. Yeah. Physical senior taking on the relatively green freshman, but a seasoned wrestler in the sense that he knows technique, but maybe not the most physically imposing yet.
Not yet. That key word being yet. You can see the size difference in the arms, right? Where
good shot attempt. See if he can drive across. Fuchs close to a takedown. There he gets it. Good wrestling by Fuchs. He's close to locking up a cradle. Now he's on a butcher here. Fuchs is on a butcher if he can get his hips in. Oh, he's close to it.
Just needs it. Oh, and he's right at the edge of the mat. Oh, close.
Runs him out of bounds.
And you can see, even though Adrian's feet were on or inside that circle, Solstrom's feet went off the mat onto the basketball court and just couldn't allow him to finish.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that Fuchs has only been wrestling for about 2.5 years.
Isn't
he
that
does some
nuts?
things unbelievably well.
But that's what great coachable kids do, right? He is just a student of the sport.
Yeah,
he wants to
sponge.
learn. Yes.
He was on Team Minnesota over the summer. Got a lot of valuable experience wrestling in the Heartland duels. Now 3-1 in favor of Adrian Fuchs as Solstrom comes up to his feet and gets that escape. Nice shot there by Fuchs. See if he can spin behind.
That's exactly where you want to be to get that sweep single. Don't go underneath. Left-handed single too. I like it.
Don't lock up with this guy. He's
No.
got a ton of muscle.
Yeah.
Stay away from that upper body. As he goes back to that crossface, see if he can get this Butcher locked up. He's tough here. He's got that locked up now.
And he's got the
re-grip
pin,
above that
shoulder
elbow.
pin. Oh, looks like we lost it for a split second.
He's on
We're
his
so
toes.
close.
See if he can re-grip here. He's going to try to redo this
And I
Butcher
want to
one
go
more
back
time.
to it. Just keep that arm. You saw him slip. You saw him slip kind of out of it, and his hand position changed.
Oh, he comes up to his feet. He's going to lose the grip there.
But I don't want
Fuchs
to be
is pretty
here.
good in this position, though. He doesn't mind going upper body. He's
Oh,
got
there
this
he is,
locked up.
challenged in.
Solstrom's pretty big and strong, though. I don't know if you want to go to the upper body position.
I don't know, but at the same time, you like, again, we keep talking about challenging, right? Let's challenge him in those different spots. He went to his body lock. Last week it didn't work out for him, right? He kind of got launched a little bit, but I wonder if he learned by keeping his hips in, he can get that takedown.
All right, 6-2 in favor of Adrian as he's got another finish. See if he can drive across. Ooh, that was nice. Great single leg finish. He can get that all day if he wants to go back on his feet.
Yeah, that's. I don't know if you want to go on bottom and test something out.
No.
But it looks like Solstrom wants to go back on the feet, and I'll take that all day.
Yes. Maybe they think his best chance to win this match is to catch Adrian, but that single leg has been there on that right side of Solstrom.
But you can see Solstrom is now keeping that leg kind of back. Oh, now it's starting to come forward. He switched his stance at the beginning of this period.
Shot attempt there by Fuchs as he drives across, close to a finish here.
Now
As
attack
he
the
climbs
head.
up the hips. He
Just
can come
needs-
up to the top and get a half Nelson here. It's close.
And that's something Hunter Hoff did as he was coming down, right? He attacked the head right away. Adrian just a little bit slower. Oh, that right hand just can't. Oh, it comes to a wrist. Smart choice, Adrian.
Now he's got it locked up. If he can adjust his grip on the head, he's got a pretty tight Butcher. He switches off to something else. He's still got the crossface Butcher series again. If he wants to lock it up, he's going to get more near fall. Fortunately, Solstrom's coming up to his hips, coming up to his base, excuse me.
And you got to bust him back down if you're Adrian.
That's okay. Up 13-3. He's been able to take him down already 3 times. The shot attempts have been there on that leg. Solstrom wants to slow him down. Fuchs would be wise not to tie up with him. Good shot attempt. Oh, just
There it
missed the
goes.
leg. Drives across again. He got a half Nelson if he wants it.
And you wonder if Solstrom's just kind of gassed here. But look at the strength. Adrian's just got to keep that shoulder down.
He can get off to the side. I don't think he wants to be in this position. He's got to get off his hip.
But you got to remember, he's already got the tech here. He just got to work for a pin. Got to keep that leg in as much as he can.
As they go out of bounds, Adrian will get the tech fall, though, with the 3-point takedown and the 4-point near fall. Great work by the young freshman, putting on a takedown clinic against the senior Solstrom.
Yeah, and that was just savvy wrestling. On the feet, he kept going for that sweep single. Then once Solstrom switched his stance up a little bit, then Adrian hit it to another leg. You can be very, very dangerous if you can hit a shot from one leg to the next. That was awesome.
All right, so at 2:15, they're going to bump up Lucas Pellinger, the senior. He's going to take on A.J. Stevenson, the junior from Eden Prairie. I love that they're giving the senior a chance to wrestle here at 2:15.
And if you look at the different body styles he's been wrestling, 189 and 215 pounds, I think he's got to be well fed to try to make that weight because he's got to weigh above 174 pounds, and I think that's about what he walks around at.
All right, my correction. This is John Sheedy. They correct us at the announcing table. Kind of a half shot attempt here. Sheedy's been wrestling a lot of heavyweight for the Eagles, a very undersized heavyweight. He comes in under 215 pounds, so they actually weigh in to 215 pounds. Pellinger weighs probably closer to about 180 pounds.
Yeah, it's not much.
Probably about a 30-pound difference between the two wrestlers. two wrestlers. Lucas Pellinger, a very athletic kid, was a linebacker on the football team this year. Very successful one at that. See if he can get the takedown. Well done by Pellinger.
Yeah, and his claim to fame on that football team was a nice blocked punt into a touchdown.
Yes.
I think it was his first touchdown ever.
I love that. Pellinger, just an absolute glue guy to have in your team. He does everything right. Never cuts corners. Unless you're in the middle school room. Our favorite story about Lucas Pellinger, which we'll talk about as he gets his second takedown, as a young fifth grader, we couldn't find him at practice one day, and we found him in the bathroom stall hiding.
Well, yeah, that happens in times when you're in fifth grade. Those practices can be tough.
Yes. He's come a long way and has really developed into a solid wrestler.
Yeah, and we kind of missed him because that was his 8th grade year, I believe, would have been the COVID year, and he was really coming into his own as a 7th grader. I would have loved to have him in our room one more time, but that's just kind of the way things roll. He moved up to the high school, and again, kept that. You mentioned he's a glue guy. He's kept some of those seniors together. And I love to see him on the mat senior night, especially with a 6-2 lead.
All right, so we're going to end the first period 6-2 in favor of Lucas Pellinger.
Now, if we can get this win, if Pellinger can get this win, it does ice the duel here for the Raiders.
All right, to your point, so this would be a big one. The Raiders are without a couple of their preferred starters. We talked about it earlier. Both Bainbridge boys out for the year, unfortunately. Both of them state-ranked. Season-ending injuries for that family. It's been really unfortunate. Case and Esterby, their typical 160-pounder, about a week away from getting back on the mat. And then Rocco Alenardo, their 121-pounder. He is still out, has been nursing a shoulder injury and unable to get on the mat.
Yeah.
All right, Pellinger with another point, as it's now 7-2 in favor of Lucas Pellinger.
And he's using his quickness to his advantage, right? So even on the feet, he's taking a couple of shots, but I like the way he's moving his body to attack Sheedy.
Pellinger, heavy hands so far. He's really been able to get after the bigger wrestler and put some pressure on him. He's a big, strong kid, Pellinger is. He's really hit the weights hard in the summer. Developed his body over the years.
Not to mention, he was swinging a sledgehammer the last couple of summers working for me. He put some muscle on as you're sitting there driving in stakes with a sledgehammer.
All right, under 45 seconds left. Pellinger up 7-2. No real danger so far. It'll be interesting to see what choices we make in this third period as we approach there. Red going to be warned for stalling as Pellinger pressuring in.
And he continues to put the pressure on with 30 seconds left. I like that. His feet are going forward. But as he's pushing into a smart position, right? Keep that elbow down. Don't allow Sheedy to take any shots. And keep imposing your will on him, right?
Potential stall call again as he toes the edge of the circle. Curious to see who they throw out a heavyweight, if they go with Renicky, the other senior, or if they throw out Elijah Christopher. I'm assuming that if they have this dual meet wrapped up, they're going to throw out Renicky.
Yep, I would agree. You want to try to give those seniors the moment to shine, right?
As Red's choice in the third period, they're going to go down. Pellinger wisely just bails out. He's now up 7-4. So one takedown away from tying this match. 7-3, excuse me. Jumping the gun a little bit. As they back away, there's another stall call. That's going to be a point for Pellinger. 8-3 now in favor of the senior Raider.
But again, you continue with that pressure going forward, right?
I think they're checking the score here. We might. Okay, I'm not sure what the debacle was here. Coach Levestre trying to get a little clarification on the score or maybe what the lineup is.
I don't think he liked the fact that he kept calling a stall call because he was pushing into him, and that's maybe what Coach was thinking or feeling. But again, you got to wrestle, right? You got to stay in the middle of the mat as much as you possibly can and wrestle.
He's going to go for it. Pellinger trying to score here. Gets another takedown.
That pushes it to a major decision if he can keep him down.
He's got about 90 seconds to ride him out here. Pellinger up by 8. He's got the major decision locked up, as Mitch was already saying.
And now he's got a half in at the edge of the mat.
Runs him out of bounds, get a fresh restart here. Good wrestling there by Lucas Pellinger. Bad shot by Sheedy. Just stuffed his head, went behind, got the takedown. Never once did he hit his knees.
Yeah, but you can see the conditioning here as well in that position. We saw it in the last match, I believe, with Adrian Fuchs. The conditioning, the gas tank that these Raiders have is looking very good. Now we want to get one more takedown, push this to a major decision with 1 minute left, but at the same time, let's just get a win.
Yes, absolutely. At this point, I mean, you don't want to push it. You don't want to take a bad shot. Sheedy's been the one that's been taking the bad shots in this match, and unfortunately, we've scored off of all of them. He's got to push the pace, though, so maybe he's open for making some bad mistakes.
Now, if you're Lucas, keep on that head, keep pushing. Maybe you can get that stall call to push it to a major decision. Yep, there you go. That's what I like to see. Get physical with those hands, but stay on him.
30 seconds left. Pellinger well in control of this match as it's 11-4.
Lucas keeps snapping and then backing away and then snapping again. I want him to stay connected.
Oh, nice shot. See if he can finish.
Great shot.
See if he can finish here.
See if he can step up for this.
If he can drive across and get the major. There it is for the Raiders. Great finish there by Lucas Pellinger.
Stopped him initially, and then once he sucked those hips back underneath him, stepped up for the finish. Great job.
Big win to ice the dual meet for Lucas Pellinger. Well done on senior night. His fan club in the back goes crazy for Lucas Pellinger.
Yes, love it. I love it.
Let's see this one more time.
Watch
Bad
it.
shot by Sheedy. Just keeps spinning, does not hit a knee for 1 second. Gets that takedown. Great job by Lucas Pellinger.
There it was again. But watch this shot right here to finish it out. Kind of pops it up.
All right, so we just missed it, but Elliot Reneke is going to get the forfeit at heavyweight. That'll finish up the dual meet for round one as we get the final score. The Raiders 43, the Eden Prairie Eagles 24. Some big wins in this match. Who impressed you in that first dual meet?
You know, when you sit there, I love the seniors going out and just throwing it all out there.
Yeah.
Hunter Hoff continues to impress me. That was a gritty win at 215 pounds. But I think the one that really impressed me was 189.
Oh yeah,
wrestling that senior at 189 pounds. When you watched Solstrom walk out onto the mat, I looked at him. I was like, oh my gosh, his arms were as big as my legs.
Yes.
But Adrian just smartly stayed on the outside with those shots. I was really impressed with that.
One of the match I want to highlight is 114 pounds. Sully McNamara bumping up. Getting that big win too.
Yeah, an undersized 107-pounder going up to 114 pounds. Raiders look good.
We'll be back for round two. It'll be Irondale, the Irondale co-op taking on Eden Prairie once again. Let's give a shout out to our producer, director, our graphics replay guy, Hunter Pinkey. I'm Kyle Kreiser, as always, joined by Mitch Sheeman. Our camera operators were Ian Andrusak and Seth Essler and Max Slocum. We'll be back with you in just a second for round two of our triangular meet.
We will begin the next school after we celebrate our seniors. Bryce Bynum is the son of Stephen and Chantel and started wrestling in middle school. His favorite teacher is Mrs. Xavier. Bryce's all-time favorite wrestling memory was watching Hastings wrestling in the state title when he was a sophomore. His favorite from this season has been getting his first win on varsity at Prairie. Next year, Bryce is joining the National Guard and then going to Grand Prix. His advice for young wrestlers is trust the process. Is the son of Prairie and Christy, and started wrestling in the 5th grade. His favorite teacher is Mrs. Xavier, but his all-time favorite wrestling memory was winning the state team title. His favorite moment from this season year, Maya is undecided on the college plan, and her advice for younger wrestlers is keep trying. Josie Giangiacomo is the daughter of Art and Lisa and started wrestling in 10th grade. Her favorite teacher is Miss Machina. Josie's all-time favorite wrestling memory is taking third at the girls' dual state tournament. Her favorite wrestling moment from this year was going to the Clash. Next year, Josie is going to Warrior College to study business. Her advice for younger wrestlers is take every opportunity to wrestle, every match is a little chance to get better than you learn. Hunter Hawk is the son of John and Becky and started wrestling in our youth program. His favorite teacher is Mr. Olson. Hunter's all-time favorite wrestling memory was winning the Queen State Championship. His favorite moment of this season has been beating Apple Valley at home. Next year, Hunter is attending the U of M Duluth. His advice for young wrestlers is wrestle in the off-season and stick with it when it gets hard. Amelia Miller is the daughter of Amy, Jared, and Bob, and started wrestling in 10th grade. Her favorite teacher is Mrs. Benson. Amelia's all-time favorite wrestling memory is winning sections her junior year. Her favorite wrestling moment from this season is getting third as a team at the Clash and watching the growth of the girls wrestling. Next year, she plans to attend the University of Minnesota Preston and major in animal science. Her advice for younger wrestlers is, you only get what you put in. It goes by quick, so make the most of it. Annabelle Norquist is the daughter of Steve and Sarah and started wrestling in the 9th grade. Her favorite teacher is Mr. Olson. Annabelle's all-time favorite wrestling memory was winning her first ever team duel against Ignite 11. Next year, Annabelle wants to continue her education in business and become an entrepreneur, but it's still deciding between which colleges to attend. Her advice for younger wrestlers is, don't look up. Clinches Peterson is the son of Dean and Lynette and started wrestling in kindergarten. His favorite teacher is Mr. String. Clinches' all-time favorite wrestling memory is winning the Teen State Championship. His favorite moment from this season is when Elijah Kid, the Holy Fruit Kid, for the win. Next year, Hunter is attending MSU AP. Fletcher is attending MSU AP. His advice for younger wrestlers is keep working hard and the results will show. Lucas Hollywood is the son of Lance and Kristen and started wrestling in kindergarten. His favorite teacher Next one, Allison is attending Iowa State University. Her advice to family wrestlers is let negative thoughts go over 1 year and out the other.
Welcome back to round 2 of our triangular wrestling match, where we're going to cover the Eden Prairie, Irondale, St. Anthony Village, and Spring Lake Park combo team. So I apologize. We're just going to call them Irondale because I think it's easier for us. So it's going to be Eden Prairie versus the Irondale Co-op in round 2.
Yeah, they have the big iron sweatshirts. Is all it says. Is just big iron.
Yeah, I like that. I like it. All right, I'm Kyle Kreiser, as always, joined by Mitch Sheeman. Mitch, we kind of looked at this match. We don't know a ton of these kids, but there are about 4 or 5 state-ranked kids in this dual meet. As we kind of went through the duel and kind of see how they matched up, we circled a couple weight classes. Wherever Westgard and Irondale go at 114 or 121, that's going to be a good matchup. At 127, Grunstein and Brinkman, that'll be a good matchup. We circled another one that might be decent at 133. They have 2 young kids that have about an even record. So there's going to be a couple good matches in this dual meet. Kind of a similar team in terms of they have a couple studs, and then they got some holes.
Right, exactly. And you mentioned it already at 127 pounds. That's kind of the match that I'm looking to watch, right? We just saw Grunstein wrestle Brock Lundstrom in the last one, and he looked fantastic. His blast doubles, just kind of driving right through, going from the feet, very comfortable shooting from space. I want to see how he does against this Arlo Brinkham. How he wrestles. Arlo is a state qualifier from Irondale. He's wrestled in the state tournament. He knows how to get to that top of the podium, especially in a tough section that Irondale wrestles in with Moundsview and Stillwater being there. So I'm excited about that one.
All right, just a heads up for our viewers. If you blinked, 107 is already done because Hardrick Hamal from Eden Prairie received a forfeit. So that's going to take us to 114 pounds, where I believe Vinny Irondale is going to take the mat for Irondale. He's going to take the mat against David Melcher. We saw Melcher in the first round. Oh, my apologies. This is Cale Westgard. This is the matchup we were looking for. So again, this is Irondale, Vinny Irondale, a sophomore, taking on Cale Westgard, the junior. This is the match we were hoping to see because this is a better matchup in terms of record-wise.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you look at this, you're seeing 2 similar body styles.
Irondale in the shot. Westgard, good chin whizzer. See if he can hop over. Gets the early takedown. We saw Westgard early on get a really quick 14-second pin against kind of a JV kid from Hastings here. Nice little tilt here by Westgard. He's getting back points. Got a 1 count. There's 2.
Now, once he gets all of these, we'll see if he adjusts and tries to reach up with those long arms on top of his head. Gets the 4 count.
Irondale for Irondale has over 20 wins already this season. Westgard is currently ranked number 10 in the state. He was 3rd at the sections last year. He's a tough kid.
Yeah, for sure.
Very long, very lanky. He rides tough. Good leg attacks. We saw it early and often in that first match. Got an armbar locked up. He's trying to go armbar tilt.
And we saw that in the first match where they kind of want to go, they like their halves, but also their tilts. Tying up wrists, tying up arms, going from one thing to the next on top. They were, especially in these lower weights, they definitely had some solid top wrestlers that didn't allow you to give much space on bottom.
A couple cool, interesting tidbits about this dual meet that I found out from their coach. If Clayton Solberg gets a win in this dual meet, he will become the all-time winningest wrestler in Irondale history.
Is that right?
Yep.
That's pretty cool. A feat that would be, I wonder how long that current record has been standing.
And you might see Coach Weinman. He's the younger guy on the outside there, kind of pointing. That would be his older brother that holds the record. Kind of a cool little tidbit for the Irondale fans here. The other thing I learned is that if Arlo Brinkman gets 2 wins tonight, he would crack 100 victories in his high school career.
And that is not easy. That's just that pinnacle of a high school career. Now, we do see quite a few matches now going over. I mean, you can get a match count of 40 matches in a year, 50 matches in a year. But anytime you hit 100 wins in itself, it is amazing.
All right, so it is Eden Prairie's choice. They're going to go down after the deferring. Just a heads up, Eden Prairie is the red team. Probably makes a lot of sense, and maybe it's flip-flopped when you look at it from our point of view. But Westgard going down here. Arlo Brinkman, only a junior, too. Returning state qualifier. We'll talk about him a little bit more, but pretty interesting feat as only a junior.
Yeah, and he's right there, right at the top with the tops in the state. Unfortunately, the first time he had a match in the at the state tournament, he lost the very first one, and then his opponent, when it happens at the state tournament,
good motion by Westgard as he gets that reversal.
When your opponent loses at the state tournament in that next match, then you kind of lose out. So he went one and done at the tournament. Now he's looking to crack that lineup again, but get more experience there.
Okay, getting a little aggressive with that elbow. They might call him for a penalty point here. Just maybe a little warning. He's getting very physical. He's stretching the arm across the back, which is completely legal. Oh, as referee Craig Beisel gets taken out here.
He was getting excited there with his explanation.
Yeah, Craig Beisel, Hastings alum, really good referee, does a lot of our middle school matches, does an excellent job.
But one thing that I love as a referee, he really talks to the kids, and you can see him in that position talking to Westgard just to remind him, hey, this is what we do, this is what we're
Westgard working a coffee grinder, really working on this arm. This is painful. Getting a little aggressive again. They're going to call potentially dangerous. Irondale getting his arm stretched all over the place. Okay, he's going to pull over the Irondale coach and just talk a little bit about, hey, guys, we got to calm it down. Here's what we expect, and diffuse any problems that we have going on here.
And that's what he's trying to do. You can see the coach continually talking about his head in the right position. He doesn't like the position his wrestler is in, so he wants to address it a little bit, just talk it through. Get inside that ref's head is the way I look at it. You're not being combative. You're not being mean. You're just kind of reminding the referee, hey, we don't want our wrestlers to get hurt. We got to be careful in these positions.
All right, so we're just under a minute in the second period. It's been all Cale Westgard so far. We were referencing the Weinman brothers. That's a name that's pretty synonymous for Irondale, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. But I did talk to Dustin Weinman. He was a former Augsburg wrestler, I believe.
So if you look at that,
former assistant coach at Augsburg, so wow. Pretty seasoned guy.
Which is pretty cool because now we got a couple of Augsburg guys on the other side of the mat. We got a lot of Augsburg connections here on this mat between the two teams.
Well, I think Ryan and Dustin, one of them wrestled at Lacrosse, one of them wrestled at Augsburg, but they're very, very seasoned wrestlers. They're lightweights for both teams. The Weinman name well known throughout Irondale and throughout the state of Minnesota.
Now, when you talk about lightweights, were they at the same weight?
I believe they were 125 and 133.
Okay.
I could be wrong at that.
That'd be interesting to wrestle your own brother. Now, it has happened in college where two brothers have wrestled, and I believe it happened last year. We were talking, can't remember who we were talking to last week that it happened.
Yeah, there was actually two brothers that made the national finals from different schools. It's unbelievable. Westgard well in control in the second period. He's up 9-0, really controlling. Hasn't really been able to turn him much, but he's had the takedown to back game going so far.
Yeah, and when he's controlling that wrist, now he looks like he's trying to work that arm bar.
Now there's a turn. He's got just under a second to get some bonus points. He's going to get some near fall here. Let's see if he got the 4 count.
But now Westgard,
give him a 3-point near fall.
You could see just that slow explosion to that arm bar right at the very end. It was quick feet. I mean, the exact opposite of slow.
Look at Westgard sitting through, constant motion from the bottom, cutting through and getting that reversal. Sorry to interrupt you there.
Yeah, no, you're all right. He controlled that arm, and it was a quick opening there that he just kind of rifled that armbar through and made the turn at the end of that second period.
12-0 for Westgard. It's going to go big toss, hip throw.
Keeps the arm. Does he work into a butcher?
Takedown, and that is going to be a technical fall for Cale Westgard, the junior, state-ranked. Looks like the real deal after we've seen him wrestle twice today.
Yeah, and again, and we've talked about it in the past, right now is the time you want to be peaking, and he looks good.
All right, that'll take us to 121 pounds, where we're going to see Owen Shellstad for Irondale, and it looks like he's either going to be wrestling David Melcher or Max Haugen. We're going to see, I think this is Max Haugen, the one we did not see. This is Shellstad. All right, so we were correct on our names here. Haugen, a 9th grader. Shellstad, also a 9th grader. We got 2 young kids going at it. Owen Shellstad, just under 500 on the year. He's 13 and 14.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
And Max is hasn't been on the varsity mat too often, but is on that 9th grade on Eden Prairie's 9th grade team. And you could see he had success at the 9th grade state tournament as he's sitting there trying to fight that leg back and try to get his takedown. He's trying to control that elbow almost into a butcher position. That should be 3 right there. And there's ref Craig Beisel throwing up the 3.
Shellstad caught on his knees, Haugen stuck on his knees on that shot. You got to stay off your knees if you're going to take a shot like that.
Absolutely.
Gets the escape. It's now 3-1 in favor of Haugen. We referenced Augsburg already. Probably no more famous Augsburg wrestler than the Eden Prairie head coach, Marcus Levestre. You can see him in kind of the grayish salt and pepper hair.
Right in the center is what I would have called it, but okay.
Hey, for a guy that doesn't have hair, you got to reference it.
Yeah.
Owen Shellstad back in on a takedown here. He's now leading 4-1.
He's got deep half
That's
here.
That's really, really tight. He's got some time to operate. Got this locked up tight. If he can sink his chest back, he's close to a pin.
He's got 30 seconds, but his weight is a little bit too far forward. That shoulder is up, as you can clearly see. Look at the camera angle we have here.
He's close to a pin. He's got 20 seconds, and he gets it. Big pin for the Irondale team to get him back on top here and get him on the board.
Gosh, I tell you what, I think we could have called that pin from here the way our angle was, right?
Yeah, great camera work by our crew. HCTV always does a great job with these dual meets. Big supporter of Hastings athletics, but more importantly, big supporter of all high school athletics. All right, that's going to take us to one of the matches we circled on paper. It's going to be Arlo Brinkman, the number 11 ranked wrestler at 127 pounds. He's going to take on Joseph Grunstein, the senior, a very physical senior. We saw him look really, really solid in the first match. He's got a great blast double, loves to operate from space.
And this is kind of the similar body style that he was wrestling Grunstein did in the last match, maybe a little bit more compact, right? He's got a longer frame where he can reach those blast doubles. He did an excellent job shooting from space in the last match. We'll see if he changes up tactics here, going against a different wrestler with a little bit higher of a caliber in Arlo.
So Arlo Brinkman, a junior, we talked about he's 2 matches away from his 100th victory, returning state qualifier, very physical guy. He's been in their lineup for a while. He goes fireman's carry, dump to his back. He's going to keep that arm and trap it. That was really well done, and he's getting back points as well. He's going to keep that arm, going to work up, try to get a pin. He's got the leg Turk now. He's got a 4-point near fall locked up. Shoulders far off the mat still, but he's in dangerous position, Grunstein is.
And he's not too close to that pin, but he's obviously in that bad position. Anytime you get those shoulders square, he gets the 4-point near fall, goes up already 7-0. But then look at this, going right back to something else. We've seen it so many times on both teams now where they control that wrist. Now he's into a whip over
right
position
over the top.
And just overpowers it. That deep seatbelt along his back. One match, one thing to the next.
Great chain wrestling by Brinkman, and you can see how the matches can change so quick with the new scoring system. That 3-point takedown and 4-point near fall, the match is pretty much over at that point in time. You're halfway to a tech fall.
Yeah, but look at the adjustment with those hands coming across. His chest is a little bit high. If he can just get Grunstein's hips to turn, I think he'll be able to flatten him out. But until
stretching those legs in, he's got a grapevine position if he can get that leg snaked in.
Yep,
switches to a headlock now.
Until he gets those hips turned, I don't think the pin is going to be coming. He's got 3 seconds left.
He's going to run out of time, but Brinkman opened up a huge lead after one period. He's up 11-0 going into the second period. It is Brinkman's choice. He's going to go right down. We circled this one on paper as two wrestlers that do have winning records on the season, but it's been all Arlo Brinkman on so far this year, this match.
And when we saw Grunstein wrestle in that first match, he was on the attack the entire time. And this time, it's kind of going the other way. All right, Brinkman was the one that brought that takedown. But then once he went on top, man, he couldn't get anything but a turn. Right,
Brinkman
he was
quickly up to his feet.
Physical.
Up now 12-0. Nice shot there by Brinkman. Goes single, elevates it here.
This would be the end unless it goes to the back here.
You can hear Weinman giving him instructions from afar.
Get him into the center of the mat.
Nice finish and dump. And he's going to get the tech fall
That's
here.
it.
Well done by Arlo Brinkman. Man, he looked physical. He looked tough. He looked aggressive.
He looked all the part of a state qualifier.
All right, let's see that finish here to finish off the match. He's got that single elevated.
And he took his time. He didn't rush it. He knew the position that he was in. You could see Grunstein trying to control his wrist, didn't allow it to happen, went right to the head.
All right, that's going to take us to 133 pounds, where we're going to see Cody Davis. Oh, I think these are two new wrestlers for us, so we'll have to get some updates on the names. This is Winston Brownlee for Irondale. He's a junior. Let's see who Eden Prairie is going to send out. Not 100% sure here. They did send out Cody Davis the first time. I think this is Thomas Rutherford. So we're going to find out really quick as they announce the names. Again, we're predicting this is Winston Brownlee and Thomas Rutherford. Brownlee, we know for sure, is Irondale's junior. All right, so this is Thomas Rutherford for Eden Prairie's deep on a front headlock, elbow a little bit too deep. Brownlee, a very long and lean wrestler.
And he's trying to keep that lock
Brownlee
together.
Coming out the backside, trying to pop his head out.
Good little chain wrestling here, going from one thing to the next. You're trying to pop your head out if you can. Get it to the side. It's not going to surprise me.
Oh, good wrestling there by Thomas Rutherford to get up to his feet.
I love it. Pop the hips out. Give yourself a chance. But now he's got that tight overhook. We'll see if he goes into a shuck position. Doesn't.
Thomas Rutherford close to a takedown here if he can just go behind.
But they've been in this position before.
Brownlee and Rutherford really battling tough for their feet here. No advantage really either guy. Rutherford kind of caught on his knees here. Brownlee with his head down. Both guys not in great position. As we covered,
he does
and
get the takedown there.
Rutherford gets the takedown.
Yeah, a lot of times you want to keep the head up. When you get into that scramble position, the wrestler with the head up wins those battles more times than not. Both of them kind of had their heads down.
Yeah.
And just one guy was able to get the takedown at the end.
Rutherford with his leg trapped now. Brownlee just kind of reaching for the head.
What's really throwing me off is the similar color of singlets.
Yeah, and there's been some inconsistencies with singlet style every time. So It's been a different singlet every time there are Irondale wrestlers out there. So it's kind of hard for us to know.
Absolutely. And I wonder if is it because of the different towns that they're a part of, or is it just the teams, the different styles that they wrestle?
You know, after talking to Coach Wyman before the match, he said the majority of their wrestlers are Irondale and Spring Lake Park kids. They have very few St. Anthony kids.
Okay.
Not that it makes a huge difference,
Nope.
but, you know, something to think about. Although the Eden Prairie wrestler in the last match had a bright red singlet, so it's throwing us off. All right,
I'm not too great with my colors.
No, we're getting old.
Yep.
Rutherford's going down second period. 3-0 lead early on for Rutherford here.
Now he pops up to his feet. He's attacking those hands.
Good mat return by Brownlee. Rutherford up to his feet again, but couldn't get away. He's now got a single finish here if he can pop his head out. He's going to get the reversal. He's close to a half Nelson if he can get off to the side here.
He's running
got that locked
smart.
up.
Just kind of drove those legs straight through. Good pressure with your hips. I'd like him to keep that arm. You can see him trying to scramble for that arm. He's coming underneath to the head here, but you got to make sure you keep that arm trapped, because without that arm, he gets to his belly.
There it is. He elevates or kind of extends that arm out. Not yet a pin, but he's getting very close. He's got plenty of time to try to flatten out those shoulders. He gets the pin now for the Eagles. Rutherford all sorts of fired up. He gets the pin for the Eagles.
And a lot of times I want my wrestlers to get out to the side, either get to that T position, work into a headlock position, but Rutherford was able to stay in that parallel to his legs and get that far shoulder down.
All right, so here we go. This is where the murderer's row of wrestlers for Eden Prairie comes out right now. We're going to see the number 1 ranked Zytavius Williams take the mat. He's going to take the mat against Rylan Inthley, a senior from Irondale. Zytavius, we saw him in the first duel. Lightning quick, long, athletic, physical. All the superlatives that you talk about, he's got them all.
Yeah, and he really likes that Russian tie, that 2-on-1, almost drags it straight down through it. He's quick with his feet, which
slick.
nice.
That was awesome. The little duck hunter coming up to us, last double, he drives across, gets the takedown. That was sweet.
Yeah, just hit your butt for just a second. You do expose yourself for a moment, but then
he goes ball and chain to a half Nelson. This is locked up tight. He gets the pin.
We're getting these matches. That one took 32 seconds. It's hard to call some of these matches to go from one thing, but watch this slick. Hits his hip and then attacks the legs.
Now they call that a boot scoot, in the sense that your butt literally hits the mat when you hit it. So it kind of looks like a duck under.
Okay.
His butt cheek hit the mat.
Yes,
called it a
did.
boot scoot. So he literally scoots off the mat. He hit it so quick you could barely even see it.
Does the boot scoot and boogie right into a takedown.
Absolutely.
That was low hanging fruit. I had to take it.
Oh man. Not one of your best dad jokes.
It was not, but I've got a few of them.
You had to go for it.
Yes.
All right, we're going to go up to 145 pounds where Charles Vanier, the number 2 ranked wrestler in the state, is going to take on Riker Packey. Riker Packey, a sophomore. Charles Vanier, one of the premier wrestlers in the state of Minnesota, recent Minnesota Gopher recruit. He comes up on a double, drives across, steps over the hips. He's got a takedown.
But then these are the top position is kind of where he thrived in the last one. He is cutting here. His takedowns weren't bad. They were good.
A shot there
right?
by Vanier as he comes across, gets another takedown.
He's solid on the feet, but I thought he was very, very physical on top.
6-2 now in favor of Vanier. He's going to go upper body.
Greco style headlock. This
Big
is
launch, but nothing doing here. He switches up to a single. Nice dump as he traps that arm. So slick.
Yes, it went straight from that headlock, then all the way down to that far single leg. Went from one side to the next.
Now 9-3, comes back to that cross double, blasts across. Another takedown. It's now 12-3.
You get that windshield wiper action with your foot where you cut the corner and get the takedown. Again, already 4 takedowns in less than a minute. Let's see what he does here.
Vanier going kind of wheelbarrow off to the side to run him out of bounds.
The wheelbarrow style right. That's an interesting
unorthodox breakdown there, but having some fun out there either way. Vanier's dad, Jafari, is in his corner. He's kind of got the old school hunter's cap, you might notice in the corner. Jafari, a elite wrestler at the University of Augsburg, one of the top All-Americans if they had multiple time All-American. Nice snap down there by Vanier. Oh, goes magic stick over the top. That is slick.
That was like Saquon Barkley-esque, right? Where he just kind of steps over the top. It'd be interesting to see that replay. He literally turned his back to the wrestler and got around behind him.
Vanier up 18-4 now. He's having fun out there. This is going to cut him. He needs one more takedown. He's got to separate here. One more takedown is going to do it. No, he'll need 2 more. Excuse me, my math is not the greatest.
It's all right. Forgot to carry the one.
Yep. It's in a front headlock position. Just going to spin behind. He's got the takedown. Trying to get caught up with our score here. They're going to call it. I think it should be 21-6 as we get caught up.
Which is 15.
It was so lightning quick we couldn't even keep up with the score.
But I don't know if we have a replay of that takedown. That takedown was amazing.
Yeah, that's high level, unbelievable stuff. To go snap down, turn your body, step over the top.
And
that's fun stuff.
Yeah, just kind of step through, right?
Like he's laughing as he comes off the mat. He's having fun. Look at his dad even shaking his head like, are you kidding me?
You wonder how often he's tried to do that in practice.
Yes.
And he's just been waiting for that opportunity. Now, but that's a high-level kid at the top of his game, currently ranked number 2. It's hard to battle those kids, right?
All right, so this is a match that we kind of circled too that might be a really fun one to watch. This is going to be Zachary Wiseman, the senior from Eden Prairie. He's going to take the mat against Clayton Solberg. Solberg, the number 5 ranked wrestler in the state of Minnesota. He's a hammer. We'll get that confirmed. We don't know all these Irondale wrestlers all that well yet, so we're going to get that confirmed. But as we get that announced, we'll confirm it and we'll let you know. But I believe this is Clayton Solberg, the senior, currently ranked number 5. He was 5th in state. Nicely done by Solberg. Quick takedown.
Very physical on that
leg
underhook.
jerk. Oh, that was a thing of beauty as he snuck that leg in. This is Solberg, as we predicted here. Solberg so tough on top. Watch as he extend this leg out. Just keeps elevating. He's getting easy back points here as he breaks away this 90-degree plane. He's got a 2 count so far. He's going to get a 2-point near fall as he breaks the grip. You can see he shows the ref that his hands are no longer touching.
And when you're trying to get that leg over, every once in a while, if you can reach back by keep your hips tight, you might be able to get a little bit more. Goes right into a cradle. I believe he's got it locked up. He's hip to hip. Now he just has to bring it back.
Weisman had that foot kind of hooked behind his calf muscle to kind of break it up. He's going to cut him. 5-1 in favor of Solberg. Remember, this is a big match for Solberg. If he wins this one, he breaks the school record for victories. Solberg,
and he's
spinning behind.
And if he can attack the head on that with the cradle.
Single finish, dumps, gets another takedown. He's now up 8-0. Solberg looking all business in this one.
Yeah, he wants it, right? But look at this. Controls that far ankle, right? Elevating. Even though it looks like he's completely out of position,
there it is. He's breaking the 90-degree plane.
He's very, very comfortable. When you kind of pull him back into your hips, elevate that far leg, control that arm, there's a lot of pressure there, and it's very difficult to kind of roll out.
As we update the score, it's 12-1 in favor of Solberg. Putting on a clinic on the top position as we go into the second period.
And if you're a very, very solid wrestler on the feet and you're solid on top, you can quickly score points. It's not too often that, think back last year, 2 years ago, where somebody would be up 12-1 with just 2 turns and a takedown, right? Actually, it was impossible based on the points. But because of those points, it makes those matches kind of spread out so much easier.
Solberg choosing to go down in the second period, had a caution. He trying to jump the whistle a little bit. Oh, nice turn and face. Weisman kind of chases but just gives up. He gives up the escape. It's now 13-1. And Solberg still in the attack here, looking to score. Heavy dose of hips as he sprawls down, trying to re-attack here.
And Weisman's in that position where he's going against one of the better wrestlers in the state. Okay, he's just trying his best.
Drives across, gets another takedown. He extends his lead to 16-1 as he gets that tech fall. A quick second period tech fall for Clayton Solberg. Congratulations. With that win, he becomes the all-time winner in Irondale history and walks off the mat like it's no big deal.
Yeah, he's been there before, right? But I want to go back to Weisman. Even though he was completely overmatched in that match, he still took his shots. He was still being aggressive. He's like, oh, what the heck? Why not? Give it a shot. I love that mentality inside a wrestler.
All right, that's going to take us to 160 pounds, where Irondale's going to send out Ole Cope. And it looks like Matt Ivey is going to take the mat for Eden Prairie. We'll get a confirmation on that. We know that this is for sure Matt Ivey. We saw him wrestle in the first match. He's a senior. Ole Cope, a junior, if this is indeed who it is. Irondale fans, if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to chime in the chat. Give us the update. How bad did we butcher these names?
I think you're doing great. From my seat, you're doing awesome. I allow you to say that first.
All right, we got confirmation. Thanks to Pam Cook, our awesome announcer here, that legendary voice. Ole Cope taking the mat against Matt Ivey. Ivey, a very strong physical kid, very, very built, much like Ole Cope. Short, stocky, powerful kids.
Now I'm trying to think back to all of these matches. We're already hitting 160 pounds. Have we had a match go all 3 periods to the end?
Not yet. A lot of tech falls, a lot of pins. We did see Ivey in the first match wrestle Mark Svoboda. He was unfortunately beaten pretty handily in that match.
Yep.
But a pretty put together kid. I'm going to guess some of these Eden Prairie kids are football players.
I would assume so.
Eden Prairie still a really dominant football program. They maybe aren't the most dominant like they used to be, but they're right up there in the rankings every single year.
Anytime you see Eden Prairie, when it comes to football, anytime you see them on your schedule, you know you're in for a battle.
They have a long history of state championship teams, Division I recruits.
Again, they're just kind of feeling each other out. Here's the first minute. Nobody's really taking a risky a risk at a shot. They're just working their ties, see what they go. Right to an underhook. I like this position. He controls that head. Then he's into a shot.
See if he can drive across, gets the takedown.
And what I love about that, he went from an underhook, but he kept that head position in the right spot, and then he just kind of goes right into a high C. Very, very slick. Hit his knee for a split second, popped back up. Good takedown.
All right, just under 30 seconds. Cope with an early 3-0 lead. We don't have a lot of records on these Irondale kids, unless we do our research.
And we tried to do it, but they don't. It's not as a prominent. I don't want to say prominent, but Eden Prairie hits those big tournaments, right? Yeah. And we don't see Irondale in those big tournaments until they hit kind of sections in the state team. Now they are in. I believe they do hit the that Clash of Titans tournament earlier in the year.
Yeah.
But outside of that, they don't hit those big ones.
Yeah, they're not in the Christmas tournaments or the Clash or any of those. There was a reversal at the end of that period. Matt Ivy closes the gap 3-2 as we enter the second period. Let's talk a little bit more about these two teams and where they stand in this section. Unfortunately for Irondale, they're in Section 4, and I say unfortunately because two of the top teams in the state in AAA are in that section with Mounds View and Stillwater.
But then you look at Eden Prairie, they have Shakopee in their section, and then during the year, they wrestle Wayzata and they wrestle STMA.
And they're in a brutal conference for wrestling.
These teams are wrestling very, very top teams. Like very high teams, very good, excellent wrestlers throughout, all the way from the lightweights to the heavyweights. They've been battle tested, that's for sure.
Yeah, Irondale kind of big rivals with Mounds View, and I say big rivals because it's been a little one-sided. We know Mounds View is one of the top wrestling teams in the state, but after talking to Coach Weinman, they feel like they're kind of closing the gap on Mounds View. I know Mounds View is really tough right now. He said a couple years from now, they feel like they can close the gap and maybe pass them up.
Yeah, and I mean, Mounds View, they've been keeping the same core of guys through. They've had some big classes. They had a big class last year with some top-end wrestlers, and they have another one this year.
Well, when you got 3 Swensons in your lineup and a lot of familiar names, it makes a huge difference, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so tied up 3-3 as we were in the second period. We're in the last minute of the second period.
And when you look at Irondale's...
Good shot there by Ivy. See if he can score here. Throws it by, gets the takedown. You can see his coaches cheering him on.
And what I was getting at is when you look at Irondale's lineup, they don't have too many seniors. As the escape happens with 45 seconds left, gets the one. We have a 6-4 match. When you have a young group of wrestlers, you can kind of climb that up if you have a good core of guys.
Yep. See a lot of familiar faces on that Eden Prairie coaching staff. They have a lot of coaches that are very seasoned wrestlers. We talked about Jafari Veneer and Marcus Levesser. Guys that very solid college wrestlers. Accolades that are next to the best in the state.
Yes, now we're in that whizzer position. But if you see Ivy's got that seatbelt position, they're just going to clear out here in 15 seconds left. Probably a smart call for both wrestlers. You didn't feel like you were in a better position than the other person. Clear out and go to work.
All right, second period's going to end here as no real shot attempt takes place there. It's 6-4 in favor of Ivy, as it is Irondale's choice here going in the third period. Beisel's kind of forgetting here it's the third period. Come on, Craig.
Yeah, he's got it in the back pocket, but he's trying to make sure, I believe, that the score is right at the same time.
And also make sure we know whose decision it is and making that right decision here.
Trust me, as a coach, you know whose call it is.
Yep.
And if you could sneak a second choice, which never happens,
yes.
But if you could sneak that, try to do it.
All right, so we're double checking here. We're going to go neutral in the third period with the Irondale wrestler down by 3.
It looked like it was Ole's decision. He decided to go both up.
Probably a smart move. He got the takedown early on in this match.
Yep.
Ivy on a shot here.
Cope smartly wrestling with that overhook. Now he's got 2 overhooks. Good hand movement. I like that, going high, then low, then high, then low. I want him to stick with that and then commit to a shot.
You got a little scratch. You can see that Eden Prairie wrestler just kind of saying, hey, my bad. totally accidental here.
But I think they got a little blood going here somewhere.
Let me get a little break in the action. Let's talk about 9th grade league.
Okay.
Hastings qualified 3 wrestlers over the weekend for the 9th grade state tournament, which takes place this weekend at Champlain Park High School.
Okay.
I believe our 3 wrestlers were Landon Zajac, who you might see in the next match.
Yep.
Riley Klebe, an 8th grader.
That we had in our room. Yep.
Had a great tournament. Come from behind win. And then the last one was Adrian Fuchs, who you saw wrestle at 189 pounds. Adrian has a legit chance to win the state tournament this weekend.
I think he's wrestling phenomenal. He's wrestled guys that are men, right? He just got done wrestling it. A kid that's 18 years old, biceps that are as big as my legs, and he's still going out and competing. They had a close. Hastings had a close wrestler that just lost that true second match in Finley Olsen.
Yep.
There's a couple of wrestlers that took 3rd place. Overall, we were very young at that 9th grade region.
Yeah, for sure. I'm always looking forward to that individual tournament because that is arguably the toughest individual tournament at that age group because you have all classes, single A, double A, triple A, all in one. Now, some of the top guys aren't doing that because they're wrestling at the varsity level. But when you combine all 3 classes together, it becomes increasingly difficult to win that tournament.
And if you place on that podium, a lot of times you see those same kids maybe 2 years later, they're trying to step out onto the podium, and you for sure probably see them their senior year on top somewhere in that podium at the state tournament.
Yeah. Back in action here in the 3rd period. About 90 seconds left in this match. Cope has got to get going here. He's down by 2. A takedown would obviously change the match. Oh, as Ivy just doesn't stop moving, just drives across. He's close to a takedown. Nothing
like
yet. Beisel calls him out of bounds. Is not going to get the takedown. Coach is not real happy about it.
No, it looked like he did cover his hips for a quick second, but he didn't like the overall control.
See Ivy a little confused. Thought he had it as well. Either way, we're going to restart. Ran out of bounds. Cope knew where he was at, which is savvy wrestling.
Yep, but again, he's got to be the aggressor. Ivy took the attack on the last one, had it close to a takedown.
And
now
shot there by
he's
Cope.
going at it.
See if he can come up with this. Head is straight down on the mat, though.
Great hips. Trying to pass it by on that go behind Ivy did. I'd like more control in that front head position. Went out of bounds. We have 52 seconds left. Next takedown really seals the match for either one.
Yeah. You can see the Irondale coaches telling him, push the pace. Push the pace. Now, Cope has wrestled some matches at 152 as well, so he's probably given up some weight in this match, but you can tell, conditioning-wise, man, he's in good shape.
You know, and they've both wrestled at that 152 pounds, right? So maybe they're both kind of bumping up at 160. You know, it's fun to watch good wrestling in a close duel, in a close match. 4-6, you'll see the sense of urgency happening. At what point, you know, when does Ivy switch his mindset rather than going for that last takedown? Does he switch it to trying to maybe stretch out the match a little bit, control ties, slow it down, don't allow Cope to get a takedown?
And no stall calls yet either.
Correct.
So you have to think tactically thinking, right? I have a lead. I really don't need to go for anything. Can I just circle and stay in good position?
Yep, and that's all about hand position, head position, controlling the ties, and really controlling kind of that outer edge of the mat too. That's where you want to be. If I'm Ivy, I want to be the person that's kind of circling the edge, because every time somebody takes a shot, can I sprawl out? If I can't sprawl out, I'm close enough to the edge where it goes out of bounds.
Talking to Coach Weinman a little bit before the match, I wasn't really aware of the co-op between these teams, to be completely honest with you. We don't see Irondale a ton.
No.
We have dueled them the last couple of years, you know, periodically in tournaments. They were a co-op program in about 2017, 2018. Spring Lake Park actually had no coach at the start of the season. And so right before the season started, they actually reached out to a couple programs to see if they would take them on. Irondale gladly took them on. They were struggling with numbers at the time, and now because they have both programs together, the only weight class that they forfeit is 107.
Well, that's awesome, and it really helps both programs, right? When you can kind of work together and keep wrestlers in there. Now, Spring Lake Park in the past, they have had some really solid wrestlers. Yep. Back when I was back in the early 2000s, they were wrestling. They always had guys in the state tournament knocking on that podium.
Yeah, he said Solberg is a Spring Lake Park kid.
Okay.
And Arlo Brinkman, I believe, is an Irondale kid. So kind of a cool combination that they have two state-ranked guys from different high schools, but as one team, pretty tough.
Yeah, for sure. Now look where Ivy's feet are. He's living on the outside, kind of in that good position. He just took a shot. He continues to attack.
And they're called stalling red, so this is going to be on Eden Prairie here. Still got 10 seconds. Probably a little too late here. As Cope's in a front headlock position.
Now Ivy's just got to control that elbow smartly going away. Remember, he does have another one where he can give up another stall call, that is.
And they run out of time. So Matt Ivy with a win. That'll help the team score for Eden Prairie as they extend their lead and get a big win, because we know that up top, some of these matches favor Irondale.
For sure. And I liked when it came to Max Ivy, the way he wrestled that last 30 seconds. He was along the edge, skirting that edge. He knew he can give up that stall call, but he never kind of got out of position. Always stayed in good position to finish out a close match.
All right, this is going to take us to 172 pounds, where Eden Prairie is going to send out Caleb Holloway, the young sophomore, and then Kyler Johnston, the senior from Irondale, is going to take the mat. We got senior, we got sophomore taking the mat. We saw Holloway get beat by Hunter Hoff in the first match of the night, or first dual meet of the night. Oh, good dump there by Johnson. See if he can take him to his back. Let's go with the arm.
Yep, just that arm just kind of slipped over, but I love the right hand going to the back, right there in that position. Okay, gives yourself a chance. Oh, right into a deep half Nelson.
That's tight. This would really help Irondale's chance of winning this dual meet if they can get a pin here.
He's a little bit high. I'd like him to sink back just a little bit, get more chest on chest, but he's got those shoulders kind of pinned a little bit.
Now, as we said, Irondale should be favored in this match. They might be favored at the next one, too.
A good readjustment.
They'll be favored probably in the last two weight classes as well. So, does Eden Prairie have enough of a lead? This is going to be tight at the end.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but look at I love the adjustment right there. Just lower your chest and
he gets a
slow
pin.
it down.
Big pin for Irondale as they close the gap, and all of a sudden that lead shrinks down to 9 as it becomes 31-22. A big 6 points for Irondale as they close that gap.
Yeah, that was a big pin, but the idea of a fantastic adjustment. He got too high. His chest was too far over when you're sitting there talking about Johnson, but then he kind of sank back, then slowly drove him over, tightened it up, got the pin, closed the gap to 9. Now we'll see what we could do at 189
All right, we got
pounds.
two really physical-looking guys here. We got Aaron Sarah Lampy, the 11th grader, taking the mat for Irondale, taking the mat against Joseph Solstrom, the senior. Two really put-together kids. We saw Solstrom. He is all upper body. He loves to mix it up. He likes to be locked in. We have not seen Sarah Lampy this year. Sarah Lampy comes in around 500, as does Solstrom, slightly under 500. You have to think, by record alone, advantage Irondale as he gets in on a shot.
I would as well.
He dumps across, too.
Controls that far, that near
Sarah Lampy
shoulder.
in good position here. Plenty of time to settle in. Solstrom fighting that shoulder off the mat.
He's trying to extend there.
Gets a takedown and a 4-point near fall. Sarah Lampy in on that wrist. He's got a half Nelson if he wants it.
And he got put in a couple of butchers against Hastings. I'm talking about Solstrom here. Got put into a couple of butchers, and I wonder if Sarah Lampy saw that, and maybe he's going to start doing some crossbody rides of some sort on his own.
Yeah, that's an advantage for Irondale when you can get to see the first dual meet happen, right? Because you kind of get a little visual of who you're going to wrestle, kind of know what they do, what they don't do. I think there's always an advantage for that second team. We saw it last week with Prairie Lake.
Yes.
And they come in a little bit more refreshed, right? When you get to sit for a little extra time after you've weighed in.
Yeah, and I thought Solstrom kind of gassed out in the end of that first match against Adrian there. Gets the quick turn, it looked like.
Doesn't look like he's got any near fall points. He was kind of rolling on his back as Sarah Lampy doesn't get the 2 count. Two really put together kids. I'd be curious if both these guys play football. Sarah Lampy got this arm locked up if he can swing him back on the mat.
Smart adjustment here. He's got to keep his feet
on the mat,
in, though.
Sarah Lampy in good shape. This is dangerous.
This is tough.
He gets a pin for Irondale.
Right at the edge. He kept that left foot in. That was a savvy move by the junior.
And just like that, it becomes 31-28 as we get to the last 2 weight classes. This is going to come down to the wire. All right, which takes us to 215 pounds. Let's see what happens here. I think Eli Dojan is going to take the mat for Irondale. I have no clue who Eden Prairie is going to send out. They got two options. Let's see who they send out. Okay, they're going to forfeit to Eli Dojan.
And it's going to come down to heavyweight here.
All right, so with that, they're going to forfeit to Dojan, and they're going to roll the dice and bump up Sheedy to heavyweight against Austin Holt. Eden Prairie needs at least a greater than a decision to win this dual meet. Irondale wins, and they seal this deal. We saw Sheedy in the first match lose to Lucas Pellinger. He's taking the mat against Austin Holt, a sophomore. Austin Holt slightly under 500 on the year. Roll the dice a little bit here.
Just really powerful hands. Just snaps Sheedy down all the way down to the mat.
Holt gets the early points.
And now he's going to work on top. Deep half. This is the point. If you could get that half, you're just imposing your own will onto your opponent.
Early 3-0 lead for Austin Holt. We talked about the importance of this match in a close duel like this. Gets the escape. Is now 3-1. If it came down to criteria, Mitch, I'm going to have you look at it.
Well, that's going to be a tough. You're not only trusting me with the math skills, but also the memory skills. That's the difficulty part.
So far, that's not even an issue, as Austin Holt takes a 6-1 lead. Now, first criteria is the greatest amount of matches that have been won. So we'll do a quick count of who has won more and figure that out. Oh, there's going to call a full Nelson as Austin Holt locks up to a full Nelson, both hands touch. That's a penalty point in favor of Sheedy.
Now, when you look at, so the one question I have is, what does a forfeit go down as a win? It just goes down as a forfeit, correct?
Comes down as a pin.
It does go down as a pin. Okay. So that'll be interesting because I believe both teams gave up a forfeit.
Sure.
All right. Now I got to get down to it.
Yeah, but don't worry, we got plenty of time. As long as Sheedy doesn't go to his back like he is right here. Uh-oh, he's in danger of getting pinned. You can hear the Irondale go, and he gets a pin for Irondale. And just like that, he locks up the win for the Knights. Big pin for the sophomore Austin Holt. And with that, Irondale gets the victory. A massive come-behind victory.
Yeah.
They were down by
down
20 points.
16 points, I believe, at one point. It was 31-15, and then they just rattled off win after win after win. Eden Prairie took the gamble, wanted to see if they could send Sheedy up to heavyweight, and Irondale made them pay.
So final score 40-31. Wrestling fans that are tuned in right now, stay tuned because in about 5 minutes we're going to get to the Hastings versus Irondale finale. This should be a good one. All right, hey, we're back at the wrestling action. This is the last girls wrestling match of the night, and we had to cover it. It's our senior, Amelia Miller, a girl that's been in our program for the last 3 years, just doing an outstanding job. She's currently ranked in state as well. She's ranked number 5. Gives up the early takedown, but has been wrestling phenomenal. As she does a little side roll, ends up in a headlock position. If she can hip in, she's in a good position.
Just come up to your feet at this point, Amelia. I just want to, I want to kind of live for another takedown. There it goes.
Gets the escape now 3-1.
Now I'd like to see her just get it going on the feet. Let's get a solid takedown. Let's go back on top. And where I think her bread and butter is being in that top position. She is definitely she's definitely a pinner.
Miller, a Hastings wrestling family, a long lineage of wrestlers coming through there. Part of the Liefeld family. Her grandfather, Paul, was a longtime announcer. She has uncles that were wrestlers as well. Her own mom was a manager. Long wrestling family. Amelia looking to score here.
And I absolutely love the fact that now there's girls wrestling where she can absolutely take advantage of that kind of that lineage that she's been a part of.
She's been a great team leader for this group too.
Yep, and I'll tell you what, something that I love about Amelia is she gets done with practice and she is in the youth room. You'll see her
runs a whip over right over the top.
You'll see her and fellow Josie in the wrestling room right after helping the youth girls out, helping my son wrestle. She's got 20 seconds. Gets a pin.
Big win for Amelia Miller, the senior on senior night. Gets the victory for the Raiders. Great job to finish up the night for the girls. You can see how many girls just absolutely adore her, support her. Pretty cool. Let's see it one more time. She gets this whip over, just runs it right over. Just uses her legs to drive.
That's what you got to do, but doesn't get too high. I'd like her to keep her head up right at the very end, but she adjusts. She's going into that kind of that double grapevine position. Is able to get the pin at the end.
All right, as we start going into the final triangular dual meet of tonight, it's going to be the Hastings Raiders taking on the Irondale Knights. Irondale, a co-op of Spring Lake Park, St. Anthony, and Irondale High School. Irondale with a big win last round. They were down by almost 20 points, came back and got the victory over Eden Prairie. Hastings, on the other hand, opened up with Eden Prairie, got about a 24-point victory in that match. It's going to be a good one. I think there's a lot of good individual wrestlers in this one. Irondale has 2 state-ranked wrestlers at 127 with Arlo Brinkman, and at 152 pounds, they also have Clayton Solberg, an absolute hammer. Raiders have a more balanced lineup. They're obviously led by Trey Beisel, the phenom at 133 pounds, but the Raiders have a ton of talent all over the board. We're going to open up here at 107 pounds. Sully McNamara is going to get a forfeit. He'll get the Raiders on the board with a quick 6.
Yeah, and looking at the lineup, this is where you have to have your whole entire team. It's not going to come down to the horses. They each have their own studs, but it's going to come down to your glue guys that have been part of the program for a long time.
All right, that's going to take us to 114 pounds, where the Raiders are going to send out Beckett Enstrom. And Vinny Nerdahl is going to take the mat for Irondale. Nerdahl, a sophomore, comes in with a 21-13 record. Beckett Edstrom currently ranked in the top 10 in state. Gets the quick takedown. He cut down to 107, had his first match of the day at 107 pounds. Looked super tough. Now he's wrestling back out to the weight class where he's currently ranked. Nerdal in on a shot. Good hips there
Good.
by Edstrom as he kind of bonks head.
And kind of just dropped
Nerdal
straight.
kind of dropped him right on the mat.
And that's one of those positions where he went to a sit, and at the same time it went right to that forehead. The referee understanding the position and what just happened.
Let's see it one more time here.
Yeah, and you can watch him just kind of keep his hips to the outside.
Nerdal in a re-attack here.
Right here, he drops his hips to the outside,
You can see that
and
head
that's a
hit the
tough
mat.
spot.
You can see it instantly. When he hit, that looked painful.
Yeah.
A lot of weight on his neck. You can see he instantly grab that neck. Seeing stars a little bit. You worry about the concern for Nerdal at this point. You never want to see an injury to any wrestler, especially this late in the year, man,
Absolutely.
where you get close to section time.
And what you're seeing right now is you're seeing kind of an evaluation. I don't know if you saw the ref on that camera. You can see him kind of pointing to his head, mentioning that it is a head injury. And when a head injury happens, there is no blood time. There is no set time. It's whatever the trainer needs. As long as the trainer needs to be able to send him out onto the mat safely in the right position, if she feels that, or take him out of the match out of his own safety.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier in our first dual meet of the year, or dual meet of the night, excuse me. But Will Bainbridge, the state-ranked 107-pounder for the Raiders, out for the year. Beckett Edstrom decided to cut down since that spot is open. They're going to cut injury time. It's a good sign that Nerdal can keep going here. Back on her feet, it is 3-1 in favor of Edstrom so far, with about a minute and a half left in the first period.
And if you're looking at Beckett, in all honesty, his weight class is 107 pounds. He fills that 107 spot. He's very long, very lean at 107 pounds, but he'll battle with the rest of them.
Yeah, very seasoned wrestler. Beckett Edstrom, a Triple Crown winner last year, which means he won the state championships in freestyle, Greco, folk style. He is a stud, and he's only an 8th grader. He's had a huge year for the Raiders, wrestling all over the place, 107, 114, 121, basically wherever you need him. Good hips, so Nerdal's going to come up. He's going to get the takedown here as he takes the lead 4-1.
And if you're looking at Beckett, one thing that he did is he did get the quick takedown and then he cut him. But something Beckett is very, very good at is he's very, very strong on top. That's one of it. I would say his feet is probably the best position, but a close second would be his top position because he is a pinner.
And he does lead the team in pins as well. He's going to go side roll with this as Nerdal's pretty high.
Controls
pulls him
his
right over
head.
the top.
And now I think you're going to see him stay on top in this position and go to work with the last 30
This is where
seconds.
he's tough. He goes suicide cradle. He's got some time to operate with this. If he can keep him in bounce, loses the grip, but he's got a 3 count. So he gets the reversal and a 3-point near fall. So good. He's got long limbs, locks up those cradles. He is so tough on top. So we're going to call a little blood time here on Nerdal.
Now, and you could see it. He did that same thing against Eden Prairie where he slowly locks it up. It looks like here's the takedown. With that, Beckett was trying to swing his hips around, trying to get around behind, but he just kind of got his other leg caught.
Yeah, kind of got sloppy on a switch position. Thought he could switch, but pretty hard to do when you're on your butt and he's got the legs straddled.
Absolutely, but in that top position, what he's very strong at is getting a crossface cradle on the near side. It's not too often that happens, but you can see him do it. You've seen Sully do it, and they kind of just scoot their hips and bring the leg to the head, and then once he locks it up, he immediately knew that he was going to that suicide cradle where he rolls through.
Good to see a lot of high school athletes here. We see some hockey players out to support the wrestling team tonight. On senior night, always good to see our Raiders compete, right? We see our coaches in action. Coach Hanneberg walk in the background. Coach Luke Veit got his arms crossed. And then Coach Jack Bainbridge, the senior, who's unfortunately unable to continue wrestling this year due to a back injury. He's helping out from the sidelines as well now.
And that's a good person to have going from senior captain, and he's still a senior captain, right? But now he has that chance
Goes
to
back to that suicide cradle. Man, Beckett hit that quick. He's got about 10 seconds to lock up this pin. That's pretty tight, but loses grip. He's got to keep his hips up. You're going to call potentially dangerous on that knee. But he'll get a 4-point near fall on this. Now extends the lead to 12-4. 7 seconds left in this first period. Beckett riding so tough with that. And the call potentially dangerous on this armbar. Man, it's been a period of potentially dangerous here.
And he's just kind of squirmy, right?
So physical on top, though.
Going back to that cradle, going far side this time.
Don't be surprised if you see Edstrom back in that top position. Irondale wants nothing to do with Edstrom going down. Goes back on his feet. See if Beck can get it going on his feet with his leg attacks. He does have some good leg attacks from his feet. He's a dangerous, dangerous wrestler, a big move kid. Goes Russian tie. Irondale doesn't try to slow him down. Good shot as he comes through the back door. Tries to slide his leg out, scramble position.
Keeping his head up the
Edstrom
entire
doesn't
time.
mind being here as he's going to hold his position. He's awfully close to a takedown, awfully close to a pin. He gets the pin! Wow, great scramble position by Edstrom. You can tell he's looking up at the ref as he's got both shoulder blades down.
He was kind of wondering what was going on. It was just kind of a goofy position, and that's something that Beckett's very good at. He shot all the way through his leg. Look at this. Again. And you can see
Irondale held on to that leg. He kept it, straddled over the top of the leg, pressured that far shoulder. You can see he's looking at the ref.
Nobody had
gets
control.
the pin right there.
Yep. And he still never gave the takedown, but he kind of pinned him from that top feet.
All right, that's going to take us to 121 pounds, where Owen Shellstad's going to take the mat for Irondale. He's going to take the mat against Albert Bermudez Ramos. Albert taking the mat. He's typically a JV kid. Owen Shellstad, a freshman, so two freshmen taking the mat. Albert, relatively new to the sport, getting a chance to wrestle some varsity tonight. They're trying to save on match count.
Yeah, absolutely.
Typically, you'd see Rocco Alenardo, a freshman, or you'd see Landon Zajac, a freshman. They're watching match count with Landon, who's going to be at the 9th grade state tournament. Rocco coming off of a shoulder injury, so Albert gets the nod tonight. In on a shot, Shellstad is. Deep on a shot.
It controls
see if
that.
Albert can sprawl here and stuff the head.
I like how he went to that ankle. Just got his hips too close on the inside here. Looks like Shellstad might be coming around for a takedown.
Almost giving up the takedown here. Albert scrambling well if he can get his leg free.
Now he's working his leg out slowly. Shellstad pops his head out.
Across.
The second you pop your head out, then it's a takedown there, covering the hips.
Yeah,
I like the scramble position. One thing he just didn't do is he was elevating that leg, but he didn't attack the head. And that's something that new wrestlers will learn.
Yeah, Albert getting the nod tonight for a variety of reasons. We talked about injury, we talked about match count, but also maybe just a chance for him to get his letter, right? All it takes is maybe one win on the varsity. As Shellstad runs a tight half Nelson. He's got this locked up tight, and he's got about 25 seconds to operate.
Just got to watch those shoulders. We'll see what he does.
We saw Shellstad get a win in the first dual meet of the night.
We're trying to come back over the top. The problem is when that happens,
gets the pin for Irondale.
When your hips try to go up on top and you try to roll it off, you lose all of your all of your leg power, and you can't bridge when your feet are up in the air.
All right, so Shellstad will get the Knights on the board as it goes to 12-6, which will take us to 127. Where the Raiders, let's see who they send out. It's going to be Arlo Brinkman for Irondale, the state-ranked stud. He's only a sophomore. He's 23-9 on the year. If he gets this win, this will be his 100th career win already as a sophomore. He's going to take the mat against Brock Lundstrom, the 8th grader. Brinkman, a very physical kid. We saw him in the first match look really good against Joseph Grunstein.
And you could see that with that tight tie. You know, when you look at Brock, an 8th grader at an upperclassman in a very physical weight
They
here.
run out of bounds. Close to a takedown, but they go out of bounds.
Brinkman, even though he's a sophomore, is a very physical sophomore. Attacking the single leg.
Tries to finish here, brings him back. He's going to get the takedown. Goes right into an inside cradle. Brinkman's got this locked up. Brock's got to be careful here. He's got to break that grip. Wisely does. No harm done.
He's controlling that hand as much as he possibly can.
Brinkman, a returning state qualifier from last year. Brock's been the preferred starter at 127.
And he's been in a lot of these matches where he's wrestling some of the top kids in the state who have definitely been in the state tournament, and he's battled as tough as he can as an 8th grader at these weights. But man, he has gone up against some hammers this year.
Not an easy weight class, and I will tell you from experience, my freshman year I wrestled at 130 pounds, and I don't think I ever wrestled another freshman all year long. You're wrestling 10th and 11th and 12th graders
Yes.
Another 2-point near fall given up here as they go out of bounds.
I mean, you're talking about a sophomore who's already got almost 100 wins, who's sitting at 99 wins.
Yeah, I'm going to guess Brinkman's probably been on varsity for at least 3, maybe 4 years.
Yeah.
Brinkman, an Irondale kid. We talked about the split before. This team is about half Irondale, half Spring Lake Park.
He's got a deep
That armbar
bar.
is locked really tight, and he's got about 30 seconds to try to turn Lundstrom over here. He's going to try to sit through. I don't know how Brock is not going over on this one.
Trying to keep those shoulders, just isn't allowing him to.
Tries to roll through. He's going to get back points, so if Brock can fight his shoulder down.
10 seconds left.
He's going to come over the top, though.
Goes right into that position.
See if he can spin behind and get a reversal. Well done by Brock Lundstrom. Just doesn't quit.
Nope, he's got to follow here. In the last.
As he gets up a reversal at the buzzer. Hey, but good wrestling by Brock Lundstrom.
Yeah, to be honest with you, when he was getting turned, I don't know how he kept his shoulders up. Great adjustment by Brock, kind of rolling through, using Brinkman's momentum to come back on top. I love the fight. There isn't a kid with a bigger heart or more of a fight.
And super coachable.
Yes.
Good switch attempt by Brinkman. He's got the switch almost locked up. He's going to drive across. He gets the reversal again. It's now 11-2 in favor of Brinkman.
And inside that little battle, that switch there, it looked like Brock's hand was around his waist. You'd like that to come down to the inside leg, hit a re-switch possibly to try to kind of combat that first switch. But Brinkman, just being strong and physical, doesn't allow him to do that.
Brinkman's got the major decision locked up with about 90 seconds to operate in the second period. Definitely controlling this match so far as he goes to a crossface ride.
Tough crossface. Right as you're getting up, pushing on those elbows, trying to come up to your base, a tough crossface brings you right back down to your belly.
Does not feel good when you get that crossface hit on you. Brock putting the wrists on the mat, though, up to his feet. Well done. Now it's 11-3. Closes the gap, down by 8.
You can see the technique is there. He wants to do the right things in the right position. There's just sometimes
great front headlock and snap to it.
Too powerful.
Brinkman is so physical for 127 pounds. Another takedown will extend the lead to 14-3 as they come back up to their feet. No separation yet, so no escape.
Brock's just got to be careful here.
Yeah, you better bail out, let go of it.
He's got to let go of that arm.
No harm done.
And you look at that. That was a split second. If he would have kept going, if Brinkman would have kept going, and Brock would have kept his arm back, that was definitely going down to his back.
Yeah. Going to call potentially dangerous here. This is 14-3 in favor of Brinkman. Okay.
And it looked kind of like he was in that scorpion position. You got to be careful on that lower back when that happens. That's why the ref is.
Okay, they're going to call a full Nelson there. So didn't really see it, but I think the hands did touch for a split second. So 14-4 in favor of Brinkman with just under 30 seconds in the second period. Lundstrom hanging tough. Again, you want to save team points here as he goes fireman's carry and bails out. Smart move. Now 17-3. Again, any team point you can save here does help the Raiders quite a bit.
Yes.
Lundstrom's going to give us some near fall here, but he's got to know where he's at.
Battling that shoulder through.
Brock hanging tough here, but we're running out of time.
And as long as we don't get pinned, I believe this would be the tech here at 17.
Yeah, and that's going to end it right here. So we're trying to get caught up with the score, but the match is going to finish 21-4 in favor of Arlo Brinkman. Gets his 100th victory for Irondale. That's a big win for Arlo Brinkman. Congratulations on the win. Unfortunately, Brock had to be the victim of that victory. All right, that's going to take us up to 133 pounds, where the Raiders are going to send out Trey Beisel. He's going to take the mat against Winston Brownlee, the junior. Trey Beisel, the Minnesota Gopher recruit, deep on a shot, drives right across, up to her feet. Wow, what a finish.
And doesn't waste any time, right? Just kind of attacks right away.
Brownlee on a shot. See what Trey can do here. Comes upper body, goes underhooks, throws it right by, gets another takedown. 6-1, cuts him. Now 6-2. Runs him out of bounds. The Raiders need a pin here. I don't think they want to settle for a tech fall.
No, this is one of those matches. If you're Brownlee, you're looking back on your time and you're like, yep, I wrestled a Gopher wrestler back in my day.
Yep. We've all been there where we wrestle a guy that's maybe a little bit better than us, right? And you just kind of cool just to say you wrestled him.
Yes.
Another takedown and escape here. It goes 9-3.
He's trying to roll
putting on a show now as he's trying to throw. Goes hip toss. I like the little side roll to try to finish here. Trey up 12-4.
Almost trying to hit that, just like a barrel roll to a takedown, like just to pass it by.
Oh,
there.
wow, what a little pass by. That was awesome. Body is always moving. 15-5 now. Deep on a shot. It's going to drive. See if he can take him to his back here. Drives, gets to a half Nelson.
He brings him. It looks bad, and it's powerful, right? But the idea is when you look at that, he brings him down, his butt down first, and drops him down. But that's
just like that.
A minute 15 tech
fall in the first period. You don't see that happen very often. All business for Trey Beisel. Let's see this one more time. Drives in,
but here
lifts.
He picks him up. His feet kept going.
Boom! Just plants him on his butt.
And he just doesn't. He doesn't allow him to get out of control. He brings him down to his butt first while he goes after his back. That was awesome.
All right, takes us to 139 pounds, where the Raiders are going to send out Talon, little soldier. He's going to take on Rylan Inthaly. Inthaly, a senior. He's going to take on Talon. Talon had to wrestle Zytavius Williams in the first match. Super tough kid. He got majored by him, but really battled, made him work hard. Inthaly deep on a shot already.
You're looking for if Tay can just block those knees and then just hit a quick go behind. Hard slowing him down, though. He continues those feet moving.
Yeah, Inthaly's a physical kid.
Yikes.
But one thing we know about Talon, he's got really good hips. He's tough to score on. Good sprawl here by Talon. If he can keep extending that ankle out, he gets a takedown. Well done.
Yeah, and Inthaly did a great job trying to continue to bring his hips underneath his body, but Talon just understanding his power himself.
It's going to cut him.
Yep, elevates that leg, gets the takedown.
Again, we've seen an influx of takedowns tonight because tech falls are so easy to come by nowadays because of the three-point takedown.
Yes, 3-point takedown, 4-point back points. You can quickly go up almost by a major decision with one takedown to the back.
Kind of a half shot attempt. All right, we need a pin here, though, if you're the Raiders. You want to open up this gap. Talon's going to go upper body against Rylan Inthaly. Ooh, keeps his hips up, though. He's close to a takedown as Inthaly hops over the top. He's okay, though.
He's got a hip in, attack the head.
Talon doesn't mind being here, though, I can tell you that. He's got good hips as he hops over the top.
Just Matt awareness right there.
Never nervous on this one. That was well done by Talon Little Soldier as he's got this leg Turk. If he can just keep pulling that neck and scooting his body, he's close to near fall.
And when Talon gets into those positions, you mentioned never nerves. He doesn't get nervous, but myself, I'm sitting there trying to go back and forth watching these, but he's so comfortable in those positions.
I've seen Talon wrestle so much that I've just seen him get in those funky positions, and somehow he escapes and gets himself in an advantageous position.
Yeah.
Goes back to a leg Turk. Now he's getting near fall with the last 10 seconds.
Not yet. Hasn't gotten the swipes yet. There
it is.
Go. He's got two. There's a third one. He's
going to get the 4-point near fall. Not going to pin him, but he knows the importance of getting that 4-point near fall as we open up the end of the first period with a 10-1 lead. Irondale's choice going to the second period. Let's see the scramble position again. Keeps his head up high.
Once the arm went right,
it hops over.
Yeah.
You can just see his hips stayed high. He never felt like he was in danger.
But his head stayed up. It was in a good position.
Talon's going to the down position in the second period. Up to his feet right away. He's going to try to go kind of a Olympic cradle position here. His little stretcher.
Can he elevate that far leg?
Well
there
done. Well defended by Talon. Now 12-1. Looks really, really tough so far. He's going to cut him, go to his feet.
There you go.
Oh, kind of got caught in his butt here, though. He's got to be careful. Good wrestling by Rylan, though. Got caught in his butt for a split second.
It was right at the edge of the mat, but again, it kind of looked like Inthaly stopped wrestling there for a second. I don't know if he heard a whistle, but Talon kept wrestling, got the escape.
14-9 now in favor of Talon as they head out of bounds.
Now, if you're Talon, your top position is a solid one. Let's stay here. Let's go to work.
Yeah, we talked about the importance of consistency with Talon Little Soldier. He opens up, he's up 10-1. Kind of gets caught in his butt, gets put to his back. That's kind of what we've been seeing out of him a little bit. He's got to stay consistent.
And he looked like he was going to a duck, but his head just kind of stayed up on top. And when your head is up, you hit your butt from the feet. It's a tough position.
If he can shore up those little mistakes that he makes, he can be a really dangerous wrestler.
And it sounds weird, but that even from feet to back was a game of inches, right?
Yep.
he just ducks that head under just a little bit. He probably gets a takedown, but by keeping that forehead up, just wasn't able to get the takedown.
He's got the major locked up, and he's got an inside cradle potentially locked up here, and he's going to drive him over the top to see if he can get the pin.
Looks like it's
big pin for Talon, Little Soldier. That helps the Raiders out a lot as he opens up against Rylan Intley with a victory and gets 16 points for the Raiders.
And I know when he looks back on this match, he knows exactly what happened. He's just kind of, I bet you he's probably shaking his head. That shouldn't have happened. That shouldn't have happened. Make one little mistake on a varsity mat, they can make you pay. Luckily, or not luckily, but fortunately for Taylor, he just kept wrestling, got off his back, and got the pin at the end.
All right, 145 pounds. They're going to send out Fletcher Peterson, the senior on senior night. He's going to take on Riker Packy, a junior. They're going to opt to not send Fletcher out there at 152. Probably a smart move. Fletcher in on the single. Packy got a little chin whizzer here. Fletcher looking to score as he comes up.
Nicely done.
Very technical skills there by Fletcher. That was well done.
And then, gosh, I always am amazed at how deep his hand gets. You can see it almost in that hip pocket, okay, of Packy there.
So 23-11, current lead for the Raiders. You think they're favored in this one. Irondale should be favored in the next one because they have their best wrestler out there. And then as you look down the line, not that I want to look too far ahead, you think that 160, you have to be favored with Mark Swoboda.
It'll be interesting, though. I don't know what... did Mark weigh in at 152 pounds?
No, they could throw him at 152, but I doubt they will.
Yeah, team-wise, it makes sense, obviously, to get the team win.
Fletcher's got this cradle locked up. See if he can get the pin here on senior night. Just breaks the grip. It's going to get some near fall, though.
It is nice to get a team win, obviously. But as an individual competitor, I know Mark's probably itching at the bit. He wants to try to see if he can.
Nice mat return by Fletcher Peterson. That was nasty. Hopefully Riker's okay. He got his bell rung a little bit on that. When you can see as he came up, he wasn't right. That was a nasty mat return there by Fletcher Peterson.
Just kind of looks at his hips, just looked off, right?
Yeah. That's kind of one of those situations where you had nothing bracing you as you returned him to the mat. Bell got rung there. Fletcher Peterson well in control so far, 7-0 with about 1 minute and 16 seconds left in this first period. Looking very physical, well in control in this match. So our Raiders currently in Section 3. They should be the #1 seed going into sections. Park of Cottage Grove is going to be the 2 seed most likely.
Yep.
However, I believe Woodbury might have beaten them this year.
Oh, is that right?
So they're going to be the 2 and 3 seeds. See this again. You can see Fletcher kind of looking up at the scoreboard. Kind of goes mat return. And the head hits the mat really hard. You can tell something's not right there for Packy.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to get up. It just doesn't feel good anytime we've seen this. Again, they're just checking out, making sure that the wrestler is safe, Packy is safe, that he's okay. Nothing, Fletcher did nothing wrong in that position, just bringing him back down. There's just sometimes you have nothing to brace you.
All right, let's get back to our section talk here. So Raiders going to be #1 seed in Section 3 most likely. Although we did beat Park earlier in the year, Park's going to be dangerous.
Park is absolutely, and the way the Raiders are sitting with the amount of injuries they are, you're just hoping to get a couple of guys back, right? We're still missing Case and Esterby. We're still missing Rocco. Those are 2 matches that we absolutely need to have when wrestling Park.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And Woodbury is a dangerous team, too. They have a lot of good individuals. As a team, they're maybe not as deep, but they have several state-ranked kids.
Yeah, and where they're strong, they're very strong.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the Brad Littles. He's an absolute hammer at 152 pounds.
All right, so it looks like they're going to injury default out of this match. So, unfortunately, Riker Packy can't continue. His bell got rung pretty good in that one. So, Fletcher Peterson going to get the 6 points for the Raiders, but we hope for Riker Packy's sake he's okay. That did not look good.
No.
All right, we're going to go up to 152 pounds, where it looks like they're going to send out Brockman. Bennett Brockman's going to take the mat for the Raiders, the senior, on senior night. He's got a tall task ahead of him. He's going to wrestle the #5 ranked Clayton Solberg. Bennett Brockman going to take the mat and try to do his best to save team points here. Solberg's a stud. We saw him in the first match look really tough as he opens up with a quick takedown. Solberg up to his feet again, cuts him. 3-1 now, up on a shot, drives across. He's going to get another takedown. He's up 6-1 now.
And Brockman's been in this position many times in his career. He's sent out there to try to save team points, and he's got a tall task going against Solberg.
6-2 now in favor of Solberg as he reattacks, finishes this double. Give him the takedown. It's now 9-3 as they go to the takedown escape route. Brockman battling tough here, but he's got a tall task ahead of him with Clayton Solberg.
Nice shot there by Solberg.
Solberg recently became the all-time winningest wrestler in Irondale history. And he certainly looks the part so far.
Do you know how many wins he has?
Over 150.
Wow.
I don't know the exact amount, but their coach did tell me he has over 150 wins. Good snap down here by Solberg, looking to score. I am curious, and if you're an Irondale fan, is Solberg going to wrestle in college? Because he certainly looks the part and definitely is doing well.
But he definitely had, like, you look at him, he's physical, he's strong, but he's got room to grow inside that frame. He's got a big frame. I can definitely see you get him in a college wrestling room, give him a few years, man, I think he would be a solid college wrestler.
Bennett Brockman down 15-4 in this first period, trying to hang tough with Solberg, gets the escape again. It's now 15-6 as Solberg jumps over the top. No takedown yet.
Continue wrestling.
As they go out of bounds.
Yep, Brockman just trying to attack that ankle, trying to keep him from scoring again.
Hey, one cool thing, and I got to give Bennett Brockman a shout out. He is an outstanding student. He's got a current 3.99 GPA. I don't think he's announced where he's going to school. However, I think he's going to have his choice of any places that he wants. A top-notch student from a great family and an outstanding kid.
Yeah, and he's the 3.99 GPA. He's going to succeed wherever he goes.
Unfortunately, the match is going to end in favor of Solberg. He gets the tech fall. A lot of takedowns and a turn there to finish up the first period.
But did not give up the pin.
Exactly. It saves a team point in the process. That's going to take us up to 160 pounds, where we're going to send out Mark Svoboda, the junior, who's been on a tear. He's going to take Oli Cope. Oli Cope, a junior as well. Svoboda took care of business in the first match, beating a tough Eden Prairie kid, teching him in the process. Cope in a shot here. Mark doesn't mind being here, though. He's going to go 3 in a row as he kicks out.
He tries it, but nice defense there. Going right back to offense into a front head position.
He wants to go double unders against Oli Cope. He's going to jack him up. He loves to be in this Greco tie.
He's just got to pull him back onto the mat to try to get them together. It's not going to surprise me as he's pulling if he drops down on a shot.
Tries to go upper body, jacks them all up. We've seen him get in this position a lot. He loves to go double unders. He loves Greco. He's a monster in this position. He was second in the Northern Plains in Greco and freestyle over the summer. Does some really good things from this position. He loves to be in this over-under. See if he can do something with it. Oli Cope not backing down, though. Circling, not giving up an inch. And we're at period in, and there's no score so far. See if Mark can get his offense going here.
There's a
good shot attempt, but
his head was down. Yep.
Comes up, body lock here. See if he can score from this double unders. Tries to go hip toss. Cope playing the edge here.
But again,
run out of bounds.
And one thing that I like about Mark is a lot of times he steps up with both underhooks. He's going for a big throw, but it leads to another takedown. That he doesn't just go for one thing. He's given or taking what the other wrestlers given. That's what I like.
So Mark trying to go double unders, not too much success. Cope keeping his space. Typically your best chance to score in this position when the hips are in tight. Cope wisely just backing out, keeping his space.
Yep, he's keeping that far arm, trying to keep those hips away.
Unfortunately for Mark, Cope did have the opportunity to see him wrestle in the first match. A lot of guys that don't know what he's doing aren't prepared for that.
Oh, just that
little. Throws it right over the whip over. He's got some time to operate. See if he can get this pin. He gets it for the Raiders.
Wow, did you see that? What a savvy technique that was. You could just see his hips kind of sneak in underneath, kind of pop Cope at the head, and lifts him up just a little bit for the big throw.
All right, now.
Watch this. This is what I love. Okay, brings him all the way down, but watch this hip action right here. And boom, just there.
Just pops those
a
hips.
little bit. Just needs a little bit of room and brings him over. That was
Coach
awesome.
Wyman in the back saying, oh, we got caught there.
Yep.
All right, we get to 172 pounds. Hunter Hoff's going to take the mat for the Raiders. This is going to be Kyler Johnson, the senior for Irondale. We got 2 seniors going at it here. Hunter Hoff looked really tough in the first match. Johnson beat the same wrestler from Eden Prairie as Hunter Hoff comes up to his feet with that single leg. He's going to elevate, going to try to dump here. He's got him off the mat. See if he can drive across. Gets the early takedown. Good finish there by Hunter Hoff.
And now if you're the Hastings Raiders, you can't just look at the score, right? You can't just look at the score and be content with where you're sitting at. They just saw Irondale claw back in the same exact position.
I was just going to say that. This exact same spot in the last dual meet.
Yep.
They were down
31.
not by as much, but not far off.
No, and they clawed their way back to win that duel against Eden Prairie. The Raiders need to continue this stretch.
Yeah, and they've been wrestling really well in these weights of late. Hunter Hoff has really, really improved from last year at this point in time.
Yeah, and a one win does seal the deal for the Raiders if they can get a win here for Hunter Hoff. Again, roll through, excellent tilts, getting the back points, keeping that back exposed. He gets a 4 count.
I think this is one position that I've been, besides his feet, which he's gotten better at, he's got these little tilts that he's kind of integrated into his wrestling this year. It's been super fun to watch.
Yeah, and he's got it trapped again. Here goes on the roll through. Just got to
keep those hips in tight.
Yeah.
Hunter Hoff was 3rd in the sections last year. Just missed out in the state tournament, but he is a light years better wrestler than he was last year.
And I'm going to tell you, if he doesn't make that state tournament, I'd be a little bit surprised. I'm not sure who the exact horses are inside the weight class. I don't believe there's 2 state-ranked kids at his weight. I think he's going to be chipping away at that state tournament.
Hoff up 11-0 after 1 period, looking super tough. Well, really, really controlling this match against Kyler Johnson, the battle of the seniors. As we end the first period, it will be Irondale's choice. We're going to give a quick look at 172 pounds in Section 3. The only state-ranked wrestler there is Gunnar Mullen from Park, who is a stud.
Yeah, he's an absolute stud. However, I think you'll see Hunter Hoff get that 2 seed there.
One more thing.
Section.
I want to give a quick shout-out to Town Square TV for tuning in tonight. They're picking up our feed. They're always a big wrestling channel. They get a lot of the Simley matches as well.
Yep, and they just, people there like to watch wrestling, and it's always good when they tune in.
Yeah, we work well with Town Square Sports. They kind of pick up our feed, we pick up theirs, and then 9 North Sports are picking up our feed here in Irondale. They're checking us out, and hopefully we get a lot of fans up in the Irondale, Mounds View, Blaine area, Spring Lake Park, St. Anthony Village, whatever co-op town you want to talk about. Well, I hope they're tuning in tonight.
Just needs one more takedown. I want to see a nice slide by here would be good.
Or another leg attack. He had a great single leg shot that elevated to a finish.
But he's just not getting past that head.
Hunter's looking really tough, though. He's got a minute left in the second period. See if he can score here. Heads down in the shot, though. See if he can dump him to his back and get a pin. He gets the tech fall. Great match by Hunter Hoff. Man, does he look good tonight.
Yeah, and like I said, what that did is the senior just sealed the victory for the Raiders. Now they're up 40-16 with that tech. They can only get 3 more pins at 89, 215, and heavyweight at maximum, which is only 18 points.
That left-handed dump looked really nasty.
I really like it.
Speaking of seniors, they're going to send out Bryce Bying, the senior, at 189 pounds. He's going to take the mat on senior night to give him a chance to get an opportunity to wrestle at varsity. He's going to take on Sarah Lampy, the junior. Sarah Lampy looked very physical. He got a big win against Joseph Solstrom. Bying, a kid that has been paying his dues for a long, long time. Super coachable kid. Always has a smile on his face. His older brother coached with us at the middle school this year. So a wrestling family. Bryce, one of the nicest kids you'd ever want to meet.
For sure.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Was he the homecoming kid?
You know what? I think he was. I actually think he was.
So we got some royalty on the mat right now.
Yeah, I don't know if he has his crown with him in his bag.
Sarah Lampy's got this armbar locked up tight, though, and he gets the pin. So Bryce Bying gets the nod. Unfortunately, it doesn't go his way, but gets a chance to go out there on senior night, which will take us to 215 pounds. Let's see who the Raiders send out there. They might send out Lucas Pellinger again, which would be pretty cool. His second match of the night. As Sarah Lampy runs this armbar slow and powerful, runs him right over the top. You can see his chest just kind of sinks over the top. Certainly happy 2-0 on the night.
Yep, and one thing that's kind of cool is Bryce and Lucas are very, very good friends. Going back to back is pretty cool.
Yeah.
When you sit back and you talk about what you how you wrestled in high school, when you're wrestling kind of with your best friend, it's always fun.
All right, so Eli Dojan going to take the mat for Irondale. He's a junior, about 500 on the year. He's going to take on Lucas Pellinger. We talked about Pellinger being a glue guy, a guy that can wrestle a lot of different weights. Senior linebacker on the football team, and him and Hunter Hoff and Fletcher Peterson kind of manned, and Bear Boardman, actually a core of wrestlers kind of guarding the defensive line and also our linebacking core. They kind of fill up our upper weights. Pellinger had an outstanding football season. He got a big win in the first dual meet.
Yep. And one thing, something he's doing right here is he's getting into these ties, and then he snaps those hands off real quick. He's trying to almost go to that overhand snap down, but at the same time, he's chopping the hands and those little head bobs, right? Those little attacks on the head. If you have heavy hands, you feel that in the third period.
Dojan not really have any attacks so far. Both guys just kind of working on the head. Pellinger definitely giving up some size in this one. You can see the size difference. Pellinger weighs probably closer to about 180, 185 pounds.
I don't even know if he hits 180.
Yeah, that's true. Dojan, on the other hand, all of 215 pounds. One thing that Irondale does have is some big guys. You kind of look at their lineup. They have a pretty big heavyweight. They also have a JV kid that's very big and very strong as well. So they got a lot of big guys in their lineup. I'm assuming the Raiders are going to send out Elliot Renicky, which they should with a big lead here.
Yep.
Give all those seniors a chance to wrestle and finish up the night.
I like this overtie. He's going to that snap down. I kind of want him to use that overtie to a slide by, come underneath to the elbow, and pass it through.
Lucas Pellinger's plans next year is to go to University of Wisconsin River Falls. He plans to get a degree in ecology and organismal biology.
Yeah, he's a big time outdoorsman. He loved. I know Mr. Versland here at the high school. He had a fantastic field biology class, and I know Lucas really took to that. He's looking kind of in that natural resources area. It'll be interesting to see what he ends up coming out of in college. I don't know if he's going to go the DNR route or if he goes the biologist route, but anything outdoors is Lucas Pellinger.
Brinkman kind of goes side roll, just gives up the escape, but that's okay, 1-0. Lucas Pellinger, also a National Honor Society kid, so we got a lot of smart seniors between Hunter Hoff, Lucas Pellinger. We talked about Bennett Brockman. Jack Bainbridge is a good student. A lot of really good students in this class of kids. Elliot Renicky's a really good student. Pretty awesome to see that you got seniors that are not only leaders in the wrestling room, but in the classroom as well.
Yeah.
We're going to list off our seniors here. So just to kind of give you a heads up, the Raiders have 5 girl wrestlers that are seniors: Allison Weinzettel, Amelia Miller, Annabelle Norquist, and Josie John Giacomo. I nailed it.
You did.
For our boys, we got Bennett Brockman, Bryce Bine, Elliot Renicky, Fletcher Peterson, Hunter Hoff, Jack Bainbridge. Oh, and I missed 2 girls. My goodness. How did I miss them?
Maya Campbell?
I missed Maya Campbell and Maddie Radspinner. I was doing so well to that point.
It's on that far the far pamphlet.
Reading's hard sometimes, Mitch.
Sometimes it is.
It is, especially after a long day of work. All right, so my apologies, ladies, but a plethora of seniors here for the Raiders inside their wrestling room as the score remains 1-0. Not a ton of action so far, just the lone escape by Dojan. With about 30 seconds left, they're going to call stalling on Pellinger. Kind of getting pushed back. He is circling, but not really being the aggressor.
No, but he is trying those snap down motions. And he's circling back towards the center, staying in good position the entire time. You can give up that stall call, try to take it into the third period.
All right, Coach, where you going in the third period?
You're going down. I personally, I'd be going down. I know you're giving up the weight, but in a 1-0 match, let's see if you can use your quickness out from bottom.
I would agree with you. Let's see what they do. He's going down. No hesitation. Didn't even look at the coaches. He's going down.
But now, if I'm Lucas, the very first, maybe the first 30 seconds, first 45 seconds, the first thing I'm trying to do is I'm actually trying to get a reversal. I want to go back on top.
Pellinger from a wrestling family. His sister Kira wrestles on the girls' side. His dad was a wrestler as well. Dojan trying to lock up a cradle as he turns and faces, gets the escape. It's tied up 1-1. Good motion, good action by Pellinger.
And if you hear big screams here coming from the fans here. He's got an excellent, a huge fan base here right next to us, which is awesome. I love it when they absolutely light up.
Yep.
They did it the first time, and when Kira was wrestling as well.
My only hope in this match is that they don't call another stall call and end the match that way for either wrestler, because there really hasn't been any action either way.
No.
Pellinger's been circling a lot, but in terms of the aggressor on their feet, neither guy's been doing much besides kind of snap downs.
And he's trying to use those snap downs, but at the same time, just getting pushed into it's kind of hard to give up all of that weight and not get pushed around a little bit.
This might be a time though too where guys are getting tired.
Yeah.
Heavy hands on the head, start bending at the waist. This is maybe where you get your shot going. All it's going to take is one good shot, and Pellinger's going to have a chance to win this match.
For sure. And they're going into the last minute here. We'll see who comes out on top. We'll see if it there. Oh, I like that.
Kind of a half shot attempt.
Yes. Just get those feet going. I think Pellinger has him on the quickness. Takes one shot, right? There it is.
Oh, nice shot. See if he can step up and drive. Oh, gonna get hip toss.
Get his head up here.
Seatbelt position. See if he can throw it.
Big throw.
Tries to go for it. Oh, nothing, but good shot attempt there by Pellinger. See if he can circle back on. Good shot attempt. 30 seconds left, just wisely circles back on. Well done by Pellinger.
That was a smart shot there each and every time. His hands came all the way around, but
Kind of got his bell rung a little bit here, you can see.
But that's the big difference when you're giving up so much weight, right?
Yeah. Good wrestling by Lucas Pellinger. Man, great shot attempt. And what was smart about it is the shot wasn't there. Didn't give up any damage. Got in a seatbelt position, but wisely bailed out. That was good, savvy wrestling by the senior.
Yeah. Now they're just kind of pushing back and forth.
Oh, good head crouch. See if he can finish. Can drive across. Oh, it goes chin whip.
Nothing yet.
Oh, man. Short time. Dojan hits him with a chin whip. Oh, but what a great shot attempt by Pellinger. He went for it. I love the aggression on this one. Dojan's going to get the win, but Pellinger was right there.
Absolutely. He cut the corner, and he came up running those legs. Just got caught.
Let's see the shot attempt one more time.
How deep his
Goes
shot
high
is.
crotch.
Cuts the corner.
Drive. And just got his hip
turns
caught for a second.
And I think he just opened those hips up just for a split second, and
Yeah.
he got brought to the back.
Good wrestling action by both wrestlers. Pellinger just lost grip there for a second. Got his hips opened up. Man, too bad. All right, takes us to heavyweight. Elliot Renicky going to take the mat against Austin Holt, the sophomore. Renicky, the senior, going to get the nod in this last match of the night. Renicky, a kid that has worked so hard over the years to get his body in shape and improve in the sport of wrestling. As a freshman, he was brand new to the sport. Didn't find a lot of success, and each and every year he's gotten better and better and better.
And here's another football player that the Raiders have, but he is a dual. If you ever see him at halftime in the football game, he's the only person in the band that's wearing a full pads, right? Because he plays on the football team, and then he's a big supporter, big guy that is also in the marching band.
Yeah, and just talk about a well-rounded kid, a musical kid, an athlete, a smart kid. Elliot Renicky is a benefit to your wrestling program because he makes guys around him better.
Yeah, just wants to be part of winners, right? Because that's something he does. I mean, marching band, we have a successful program. Football team, they had a fantastic job.
I love this quote. Favorite wrestling memory, the team winning state in 2023, the joy and screaming when we win close duels. Yeah. That's awesome.
Just absolutely loving, kind of loves those opportunities.
And I love this also achievement he mentioned too, cutting all the way down from 315 pounds to where he's at right now.
And that's what he started.
That's amazing.
And I don't know what he weighed in at, but he looks like a much healthier individual, and that goes to all of his hard work that he's put into the year.
These are life skills, obviously, that'll carry him far. His plans next year are to go to the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology, a very good engineering school. First period, Holt's got him in dangerous position. He gets the pin, but Renicky deserved to be out there. That senior on senior night getting the pin.
Absolutely.
Well done by the Raiders. They're going to get the victory. What was cool about this dual meet, though, is every senior got a match in the final duel.
Yeah, and that's great for them in front of their home crowd, whether you win or lose. It's always nice to be here getting cheered on by the home fans.
Yeah, so the Raiders end up with a 40-31 victory. Scoreline can be a little deceiving because they did throw a lot of their backups in, and they're missing a couple starters, but most importantly, every guy got some experience.
And they got the win.
And they got the win. And some of our young guys really, really wrestled well. As we peak towards the section tournament, Raiders are doing really well. They're wrestling with a lot of confidence. Who impressed you tonight in either this match or overall?
Well, I kind of mentioned it in the first match. Adrian Fuchs wrestled really well in that first one. This second one, I continue to be amazed at the maturation of Hunter Hoff.
Yes.
I mean, that left-handed high C, every time I see it, it's more and more Creed Peterson-esque, right? And he's going right into that high C, switching over to the double.
I thought Fletcher Peterson looked really good in that match, too. He really wrestled with a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
Looked like a different wrestler from the first match, just wrestling with confidence and aggression. I was pleased to see our seniors, Hunter, Fletcher, and other guys wrestle with a lot of confidence.
And that's what I was going to go to. It's nice to highlight two of those seniors that are such big guys in the program. Great kids overall, happy kids. I'm glad they found success today.
All right, we're going to give some shout-outs before we wrap this up. We're going to give some shout-outs to Hunter Pinky, our producer, our director, the graphics replay guy, the guy that does it everything for HCTV. He does so much, and we are so appreciative to him. We're going to give a shout-out to our camera operators, Ian Andrusak, Ben Brannon, and Max Slocum. I'm Kyle Kreiser, as always, joined by Mitch Sheeman. Wrestling fans, tune in next time, and tune in to HCTV for all your local sports entertainment. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We'll see you next time.